Yo, we got Flyers. We got Oilers. I know. It's hard to get excited for Flyers right now. But hit that like, hit that subscribe. Follow everything A2D does. We'll give you something to get excited about. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the puck night! Oh, this game he stinks!
Oh, shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Tsutsuti, along with, as always, the Darkwing Brian Daly.
What up?
And the Broken One, Rob Povia.
We stand with Ukraine.
Yes, absolutely. And tonight, the Flyers take on a team that shares orange but does not share the black. It is a blue and orange tandem of the Edmonton Oilers, better known as Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and a bunch of slop. But the Oilers right now, they've been having a pretty solid season, albeit though they came back down to earth in a very dramatic way. Now they've picked it back up. So tonight they're here in Philly. They would like to continue they would like to have a successful visit to the city of brotherly love. Gentlemen, it's up to the Flyers to make this visit unpleasant. They did manage to beat the Capitals. Oh boy. That's all I can say about this, because, this Flyers team always leaves you wondering, are we going to get the good Flyers tonight, or are we going to get the let's fuck it up and lose the game in the last 2 minutes of the third period Flyers? What are you guys feeling here tonight?
I mean, I'm going to keep it real with you boys here real quick. I don't think they've played terribly over the last span of games. I think they have an issue closing games out, and I think that can be led to the defensive side of the puck, which we know has been a very big struggle for this team all season long. So they have to maintain some kind of pressure, and like I tell you guys all the time, I feel like I say it on a weekly basis here, they have to play in the offensive zone more often than not. That's how you win hockey games. That's how you close games out. You maintain the pressure on the opposing team. And if they can do that, I think they could beat the Oilers. You have to be able to shut down McDavid and Draisaitl, though. That's the tough challenge that's going to be tonight. Albeit they've been brought back down to earth a little bit after that hot start. They're starting to find it again. And the addition of Evander Kane has helped with that as well, as much as, I don't like to admit that. Because he is a scumbag piece of shit person. But, it's a tough challenge for them tonight. They overcame the Capitals the other day. So let's see if they can keep it going and go for 2 in a row here against one of the top teams in the West.
Yeah, you're totally right, Brian. I mean, the best defense is a good offense, right? Just to flip the script there a little bit. And lately, the Flyers have been playing better defense in front of Carter Hart. And lo and behold, it's allowed him to make those spectacular saves, those game-winning saves like we finally saw against the Capitals over the weekend. So, it's something to build upon, Matty. I mean, I don't put too much stock in it because where are they going? You know what I mean? It's obvious what the mission is at this point, but I'd rather see a Flyers win than a Flyers loss. Some people might be the opposite, though. Why are you winning games right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. Why ruin a perfectly good tank, right?
Well, I mean, even if you don't get the 1-2, at least, it'll heighten your chances to being in the top 5, right? If you're down in the standings.
True. That's true.
I hate it. I hate even saying it.
I mean, the post after the last show he did last week, it really made me think that maybe this is a tank. Maybe they're legitimately doing this on purpose, because anytime they have a lead, especially the last couple of weeks, like, they're playing good enough to win these hockey games.
Right.
They really are. They're scoring goals. They were playing solid. They were playing solid at least, I'd say 45, 50 minutes. And then the second half of the third period, it's all of a sudden, especially like Maddie was saying earlier, last 5 minutes or so, they give up goals. Makes me wonder if they're doing this on purpose, like they are tanking on purpose because they are trying to go after a guy like Shane Wright.
Well, one thing I did read from coming out of the town hall with the season ticket holders yesterday, both Chuck Fletcher and, new to the organization, again, Danny Briere, coming out and talking about how important this pick is and how it could be a high pick. If you're mentioning that, you're already thinking about that. So there could be some credo to that. But then you think about how they handled the injured players on this team. Instead of Ellis going for surgery, he wants to make a new impact, with his new club, not pay just 4 games. So obviously he's going to go along with that program. But if you're not playing to win this year, why are you trying to prevent surgeries with players? So I don't know exactly. Again, I've said it before in past shows, bit of mixed messages, maybe a little confusion where their direction is. You know what? Sometimes losing makes you a little confused.
Could be. And it's like Ryan Swoop, who I see in the chat. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Like he's always saying, you got to be on the same page, and I don't necessarily think that everybody's on the same page in this organization, which is why you're seeing the dysfunction that you're seeing and why people think they're as bad as they are.
Well, the one thing that the Flyers and the organization, especially the organization, need to get in order for them to start actually getting back in the right direction and on the north side of the winds and, maybe consistent playoff berths with consistent potential to win a Stanley Cup, you need confidence to do that at the end of the day. And it's something that this Flyers team has lacked. And it's also something that, let's face it, some gentlemen in the world, they lack too. And sometimes it's hard to get that back, but there is a way to do it. And that is Manscaped. You go there, you take care of all the sensitive regions and everything, and you feel like $1 million. And hey, you unlock your confidence. And you could get 20% off with an A2D code at Manscaped and unlock that confidence. Because you know what? It gets you a lot in this world. Not just the ladies. It gets you that confidence when you're rolling into a job interview or when you're walking into that new job. You're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to do this. No, you walk in there just like, hell yeah, man, I'm as fresh as a daisy and I am going to kick ass today. And you know what? That's what confidence does. So unlock it. Get Manscaped.
Apparently, Cam Atkinson's played both left and right wing on the first line, according to NBC Sports Philadelphia. But one thing, Maddie, I will say real quick, just to segue from that excellent read, is that I'm less concerned about wins and losses about the Flyers right now. I'm more concerned about building that confidence in the young players in this team that are going to be carrying this team forward in the future.
Absolutely. They're going to be key here, and the success of these younger players is gonna kind of tell you how long this rebuild is going to be and how long it's going to take to get back to being a competitive team.
And today's poll question is: Connor McDavid will surpass Wayne Gretzky before retiring. Agree or disagree? And that poll question is from BetUSA Online Sportsbook. And hey, you know what? We always talk about how you could become an A2D member, $9.99 a month, by the way, folks. And the reason why we say that is because you could then take the advice they give you and use it to make yourself some money. You get a little side hustle going at the end of the day. Before you know it, you're actually making money to be an A2D member. BetUSA is one of them. They're the leading online sportsbook. They have been in market for about 25 years, and you can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. So you're not limited to just one or two things. Oh, no. You can bet on anything. So definitely want to take a look at that and start making yourself some of that side money at the end of the day. That's what you want to do.
Hell yeah. We all need that side hustle these days, people, and it's only going to get worse with everything going on overseas. But that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. So with that, check it out. BetUSA. Check out that sportsbook online. You won't regret it. Here's the little URL right there for you to go ahead and put into your browser to go take a look at that. And that's a 125% sign-up bonus, by the way. So
tasty.
got some, Yeah, some nice incentives right there.
125%. Like that's nuts. That's something you have to take advantage of, especially for you degenerates out there that like to gamble in sports. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm around a lot of these sites, and that's definitely tops that I've seen.
So definitely listen to Rob. Listen, he ain't gonna steer you wrong.
I didn't even mean it like that, but that's true too. So I'm not even gonna correct myself.
All right, so the Oilers did have a power play, although they only have about 4 seconds left. We'll see if the Flyers
Scotty
can
Lawton
kill this.
tripping the topic of the poll. McJesus there. You know, it's hard to stick with the man. He's fast and he's big. You know, something a forward that the Flyers could use, like, you know, to epitomize.
Yeah. Then we got the fam coming in. As always, they're coming in hot. We got Renee saying, "Let's go Flyers." Albeit
Renee,
though,
how we doing?
Yeah, her her emoji on the side kind of screams anguish there. But and then 1987 she's throwing out. Of course, that was one of the best years in Flyers history. The Flyers went to the Stanley Cup Finals of the year. One game. They almost beat the Oilers and won the Stanley Cup. Oh, what could have been? And we got Joe coming in. What's up, Joe? Saying surpass Wayne Gretzky. How? No matter what the context of the question is, the answer is emphatic no. Well, I'm just throwing it out there because, I mean, Ovechkin's most likely going to surpass Gretzky in terms of his scoring. So, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, points, not a chance. I don't think anyone's ever touching him in points. But, I mean, records are made to be broken. Ovi could do it, will do it. And McDavid has a long career ahead of him. God willing, he stays healthy. He could be up there. The one thing I'll say where I'll disagree to the poll, not as emphatically as Joe, but I respect where he's coming from, is that this is a different era in the NHL. Really, despite seeing 10-7 games like we saw between the Maple Leafs and Red Wings last week, which gotta be my game of the week. I mean, that's phenomenal. The way Detroit came back in that game, 5 goals in the third was making them sweat. But anyway, you don't get many games like that nowadays, and it's going to be tougher moving forward. You got to be that sniper like Ovi has been throughout his career. Could he get there in goals? Possibly, but overall points, no, not a chance. Disagree.
Well, something to think about. He's 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, to your point, Robbie, because you're absolutely right. He's got a ton of time left, barring any injuries or anything like that. He's stayed pretty healthy for the most part so far in his career. Just shy, if he scores 1 point tonight, he's at 650 career points already. Just something to think about.
Wow.
I'm not saying that it could happen, but I'm saying it could happen. But I think a lot of that is going to tell on how this Oilers team is for the next, we'll say, 10 years. Get him to 35. If he even stays there, who he plays with, who his line mates are. I think that's going to be a huge toll on McDavid's career and his point production. But as of right now, I disagree with the poll. I don't think he even touches anything Gretzky has. But I will say this: Gretzky's not going to be a dick about it. He's all about Ovi breaking his record, and I'm sure if McDavid ever gets to that point, he's going to be all about McDavid breaking his record. So,
yeah. No, for sure. But I mean, you at least you inspired me to think of a good point based on your breakdown there, Brian. That you're talking about a lot of success for the Edmonton Oilers of the Gretzky era, a lot of talent around him to create points. Connor McDavid hasn't necessarily had that, so I mean that's a thorn in his side in terms of being up there with the great one.
Right, absolutely. I mean, aside from Leon Draisaitl, who does he really have? I mean, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is an all right player. He's a nice player. Neil Yakupov was somebody that they thought was going to be a big player. It never turned out to be that way, which I don't think they ever played together anyway. Mm-hmm. Taylor Hall was out of Edmonton, I believe, before McDavid was drafted as well. But, I mean, after that, you got Jesse Puglia-Harvey. He's a nice player. Again, not great, but he's nice.
Yeah.
Aside from Draisaitl, there's no other superstar. There's no other superstar. And, as similar to Gretzky, McDavid loves to pass the puck. He'll take the shot if he has it, but he likes to pass the puck first. So he needs for him to really take off. And just think about it for a second. He hasn't even necessarily even hit his prime yet. So
it seems like he's been around for a while, though. It's 7
Right.
years, but he started so young, right off the bat.
Right off the bat, right out of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He's 25. He's coming into his prime now. Whether you want to believe it or not, he could only get better from here. So that's why I say we'll see where it goes. We'll see where he is in 10 years at 35. But right now, to be 25 years old and have 649 points in your career, that's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm looking at the goals, alone. I mean, amass that. You're what? I didn't really excel in math, but a fourth of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
To 900, right?
Yeah, he's at 75 points already on this season.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking season. I'm talking ultimately career in terms of reaching numbers. But yeah, I mean, for the season, phenomenal. And yeah, he can move the puck. He can pass puck. He's good going coast to coast too. It's hard stopping him once he gets going. You know what I mean? He's got good stick handling. I mean, he's best player in the NHL. And I challenge anyone there to challenge me on that.
Disgusting mitts. I mean, he's always in the top 3 in points. He's in the top 3 in assists. He's not always in the top in goals. But Gretzky wasn't even necessarily known as a goal scorer either. But I mean, if you look at the numbers, he was an all-around playmaker. Yeah. He wasn't necessarily a sniper. They play similar styles. That's why I think there is a chance for McDavid to get there. But I think saying it right now, I think it's too early to tell. But again, saying 650 points at 25 years old is pretty nuts. And I think if he continues on this pace, he's going to make some noise.
Right. Sure.
For that record.
Sure. Now, mind you, where Gretzky had a lot of his success with the Edmonton Oilers, he still went on to score more goals, on a per game basis with New York Rangers, LA Kings era after the Edmonton Oilers. Inverse that script for McDavid. If the Oilers continue to be mediocre into his 10th season, whenever his most recent contract expires, right? What if you move him to a team like the Las Vegas Golden Knights? Move him to a team like the New York Rangers. We'd hate to see that here in Philly, but hey, I mean, I call it a far-fetched dream to bring him to Philly. Hey, if James Harden can come here, anything's possible. So, but I'm just saying, go to a club where you can really expand upon on those career stats and make your mark in this league.
No, absolutely. And again, going back to the point of it's all going to matter of where he is and who he's playing with. Because once Gretzky left Edmonton, he didn't necessarily have to score goals in Edmonton. He went to LA and he had to become that guy that they had to lean on. So he started to shoot more. Right. Same thing in New York. At the time he was in New York, they were still a solid team. They had good players, but he didn't necessarily need to pass the puck. He chose to shoot more. So they had to lean on him a little bit more for being the great one. Even his 5 seconds in St. Louis, which people always like to forget about. I'm this close to getting a Gretzky Blues jersey. This close. And then I look at my bank account. I'm like, shit, I can't.
It's the rare one. Yeah, I respect the rare jerseys. Man, that was a good chance for Sanheim, right, Maddie? Or off the heel of the stick. I can't even fault him for that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll have a good game tonight. I mean, he's got to have a good game at some point, right? That's a little harsh. He's had a couple of decent ones. I can't.
I was about to say, Sanheim has been playing well lately. Definitely better than earlier on in the season, for sure.
That's true. I'm just really down on him because of just the frustration that he's been dishing out to me every fucking time. But it could be worse. He could be Konecny. Anyway, But yeah, I mean, so far at the end of the day, I would say this is still kind of a back and forth kind of period. I mean, yeah, the Oilers had the early jump, but the Flyers at least didn't get scored on, which is huge. Chuck's saying, "Gentlemen, what's up, Chucks?"
What up, Chucks?
Ryan Swoop apparently he made a comment to Charlie O'Connor's Charlie O'Connor's from an article he did in the Athletic, and he and he said he'd rather have us read them than type the long stuff here. When has that ever stopped you, Ryan? When has that ever stopped you before? Anyway, not to say that we hate that. We actually enjoy it because it's very, very in depth, and we always appreciate that. But
very well thought out.
Yes, Anthony, what's up, man? He's saying Ovi might get sent back to Russia. I don't know. I mean, I know he's not happy with the way he's not happy with his country right now. But at the same time,
I mean,
you know,
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that feel that way.
At this point, there's only maybe players coming this way, that are ready to come. We can get into that later a little bit. We talk about prospect pool for the Flyers, but I mean, NHL, one of the sporting organizations that's broken off ties with Russia, and you got to applaud our sport boys. Didn't even waste no time with it. You know what I mean? And how ingrained the NHL and the KHL have been over the years and stuff like that. But they can't even run their league. But anyway, I don't want to get too political.
No, I got you.
I see Benny's question down there. It's nothing personal, Benny. You know that. I'm just not a very political person. I don't even really know everything going on with it to even comment anyway.
Yeah, I mean that. All I can say is it's a sad thing to see. Very, very sad thing to see.
Well, hopefully they figure it out soon and get this and figure this thing out and everybody can get back to their lives.
Yeah. So let's see. Joe's saying 25 plus years ago, most teams seem to have a 40 to 50 goal scorer on their roster. Fast forward to today, 50 goal leads the entire league. It's true.
Yeah.
A much more scoring heavy league back in the day, back in the 1980s and the early 90s.
And they had the 2-line pass.
Yeah,
they did.
we don't even have that in this era, and they still can't score. But a lot of different reasons for that.
Ted wants.
We can start listing them off later.
Ted wants to know if we're going to be live this month for the trade deadline. I'm not sure.
I'm up to doing that. I mean, we'll check with Tommy and Brodo. I mean, they have Monday morning quarterback usually at 5:00. Maybe we could go on like 2-3 o'clock leading up to the deadline. You know what I mean? Transition over to their show, or maybe give them a week off if they want to take a week off. I'd like to do that though. I definitely wouldn't mind doing that.
I would love to do that. We'll have to see if we can make that work. We still got some time on that though, so we'll figure it out.
All right, then. We got Rob chiming in. What's up, Rob? And he's saying, geez, over Gretzky. Is he really getting to that level? I mean, think about last year. It was a pandemic season, shortened season. He had how many points?
He still wound up having almost 150.
Yeah, and that was a shortened season. So imagine if that had been a full 82 that year. That just was an amazing year from him.
Yeah,
sorry, I lied.
Yeah.
It was 105 in 56 games.
Still though,
I'm dyslexic too. It's cool.
Yep.
But no breaks. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this NHL, and I mean, you still got to consider Sidney Crosby up there, even though he's longer in the tooth now. But I think without question, McDavid is the best player in the NHL. So if you're going to compare the best now to the best ever, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have 3 categories here where you have 3 players at their best right now, and 2 of them are pushing my age, unfortunately. You have Sidney Crosby, who's really the best all-around player. You have Alex Ovechkin, who's the best scorer of all time. And then you have Connor McDavid, who's the best playmaker. So, It's tough.
So,
it's
yeah.
tough because that's definitely your top three.
Yeah. The Tom are known. What's up, Tommy? What's going on? So, let's see here. Don saying, "What's up?" And what's up, Don?
I thought they were going to come back against Toronto, Don. I thought it was happening. 5 goals in the third.
And he also
3-2
goes on to
short.
He also says, "Go on to fire Rob Manfred."
Preach, get him out. Although I can't necessarily put all the blame on Manfred this time. I think the owners are. There's enough blame to be put all around. But yeah, I agree. Get Manfred out of here. What's up, Troy?
Hey, Troy.
Yeah, but he's a clown, though. I mean, after they announced what they announced today, basically they did not come to a deal even with the extended deadline and the first 2 series being canceled, which I thought if you missed the deadline, it was going to be the whole month. Now it's the first 2 series. Like, you know, that's kind of why I'll go with fire Rob Manfred, you know, from Troy H. Absolutely. But he was caught on camera, after the presser laughing. And I think it was Michael Lorenzen from Cincinnati Reds posted out, and basically, just to paraphrase what he said, he was like, "Look at this piece of shit. Like, I'm glad he can have a laugh right now." You know what I mean? And it's true. It's like, you know, circus of clowns. Really, that's that's how I call this whole CBA. But I know it's the hockey show. Sorry.
No, bro, Robbie, you're spot on. The dude is a clown, and he's doing nothing to make baseball better.
Right.
So he's got to go. These lockouts
obviously there for the paycheck. That's all he's there for.
Mm-hmm. He has no idea what the hell he's doing to make the game better. He's making the game worse.
Yep.
Oh, we want to be appealing to the younger crowd. What are you doing to appeal to a younger crowd? Oh, sorry, the lockout. My bad.
Took a lot of fans away from
really
hockey.
Gonna help. That's really going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about this to parallel it with the NHL. The NHL suffered 2 lockouts in this era, in this century. They had the one that killed the entire season, and then we had one that shortened the season. So again,
it's baseball. I'm just going to say this real quick.
But that took time to get it back. They did lose a lot though with it, and then they eventually got it back over time. It's the same thing, you know, where it's like you're going to lose fans, and it might take a while for you to get it back.
Yeah, but baseball, with the rule changes and the way they're changing the game, Rob Manfred is absolutely killing baseball. People don't want to watch it anymore because it's not baseball. Which I agree, it's not. Gary Bettman has not really done much to make the game worse. He's made the game, in my opinion, better, and he's marketing the game better than he ever has. The growth of the game of hockey versus baseball is like 300-fold.
Who was it? I think it was Joey Gallo put out a tweet like, "This just in: MLB to have a 162 game season, all 7-inning games, and we get taken out for ice cream afterwards."
I saw the one.
Great. Fabulous.
I saw the one Jock Peterson did. He's like, we'll do 162 games.
No, that's who it was. It was Jock Peterson. Not Joey
okay, it was Jock
Gallo.
Peterson. Yeah, he's like,
Joey Gallo did
7-inning games, and we'll all get a participation trophy. All 32 teams make the playoffs.
Participation trophy. That's what it was. Yeah. No, that's what I was referring to. Jock Peterson. Joey Gallo did making a LinkedIn account. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I wanted to connect with him on my LinkedIn. Be like, I got him. I'm connected to Joey Gallo. Joey, I got a radio show. You could use the guest.
What's up, Pete?
What up, Pete?
Chad Carroll. Did the Sixers sign Jordan? I unfortunately do not follow basketball, so I can't tell you.
Not to my knowledge. I know they are the front runners, last I heard, to get him. I don't think they've signed a contract yet.
Well, right then.
Referring to DeAndre Jordan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was an interesting stat that I didn't want to interrupt you boys before the NBC Sports Philadelphia put up that since I believe it was 2015-16, you got Connor McDavid leading all of NHL in points. Leon Draisaitl, number 3. I think Brad Marchment, I think, was number 2. Forget who number 4 was. But, I mean, just to go along with what we were talking about, Connor McDavid, like, surpassing the league and then some, number 1 for the past 7 years since he came into the league.
That's all.
Yeah, so Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, I think this is the one you were talking about, dynamic duos. 766 points combined together. Marchand and Pasternak with 587. Huberdeau and Barkov in Florida with 571. Marner and
different stats.
Matthews
That's a
with
good one.
somewhere in like 570. I think it was 571 as well.
And it was it was Marchment that was 4, and it was Kane at 2. That's what it was. It was individual, but then duo wise, obviously.
It was a great play by the Flyers, but unfortunately, they decided to pass it, and a high sticking penalty is about to get called on Edmonton.
I think TK's dead.
Yeah, he definitely felt like he was dead, like he got shot.
Either that or he just won the SAG award late. He's like, look at my back, it's broken.
And now he's trying to show the ref blood, or he's like, oh yeah, my lip's bleeding. I need 4 minutes for him.
My neck, my back. I'ma sue you for $100 million, but we could settle out of court for a peanut butter sandwich.
Which is okay. So let's see. The Yamamoto stick comes up, and it looks like it catches him in the lip.
I think it was Provy's stick. Was it? That's why they're showing it all scrutinized. It's tough when you can't hear.
Yeah. Either way, though, Kale Yamamoto sits in the box. It'll just be a 2 minute.
It was Provy's stick, right?
Oh, okay.
Friendly fire.
Oh, yeah, it was Provy. Yep, I'm seeing it on the replay now. Because Yamamoto's stick has black tape and Provy's has white. So, yeah.
A little friendly fire.
Oh, well, hey, listen. Konecny did the smart thing there. Got to give him credit for that. You flop, so that way you can get a 2 minute, and that's what he did. Albeit, though, the Flyers' power play is 30th in the league, which is just, spectacular, guys.
Gotta be careful,
I'm fucking talking about. No, that's true. You do have to be careful of that. But yeah, I'm saying, though, man, that 30th power play, that's what I'm talking about, boys. You talk about being shit. We're the shit of the shit, man. We are just fucking awful. Atrocious.
There's 2 spots under you. You're not there yet.
That's pretty bad, though. I mean, when you're trying to say, we're ahead of 2 other teams, it's like, that ain't saying much, man. Just saying, that ain't saying shit.
Anything worth doing is worth doing right, boys.
Yeah, true.
That's right.
And then, so Jake Friel, what's up, Jake? Saying, what's up, boys? Going to disagree with the poll and praying for the people in the Ukraine, as we all are. Prism saying, I'm still at work, you jerks. Well, you got to change your schedule, dude. Sorry.
You're fired. You're fired, Priz. Get out.
It's starting without me. Dude, just call out sick. Call out sick on Tuesdays. They'll never catch on. It's like,
a little flush.
I got some Flyer fever. It's very treatable, but, I'm going to be out for a day. Let's see here. Yeah, Manfred is a clown, and the presser made me hate him that much more, and I don't hate anyone. Well, I'm sure you hate somebody. But,
It didn't look like that puck deflected. God play the game on the goaltender there. Nice.
I was about to say 5-on-3 for the Flyers.
Yeah. All right, then. So Koskinen getting called for delay of game. 2-man advantage for the Flyers. Let's see how they fuck this up.
Well, what's crazy is he kept a rolling puck in, but when he had the puck laying flat, he sent it up over the glass into the netting. Riddle me that one.
Bad decision. That's the best way to put it. Joe saying, traveling back to Philly in June, I was eyeing tickets to the Phillies Angels on the 3rd of June to see Trout and Ohtani. Hope it all still happens.
I mean, I think we're going to get baseball. I think we'll have baseball back sooner than later, but I hate the idea of the fact that we're missing time.
And let's see. We still got
you got
set up there. Oh, wide open net. Wide open net. Hate that when no one sticks on the ice to pot hose home.
Rista had a good shot there.
Yeah.
I hate being 20 seconds behind you guys.
Let's see here. Well, Ryan Swoop has an interesting question we'll get to in a moment. See if the Flyers
Oh.
can take advantage of this power play.
One thing I wanted to say, boys, from following along the show on the comments side of things last week, right? Being that the stream gets delayed a little bit, me and Maddie could pause it to try to have less of a gap with Brian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know if you have to, I don't know if you have those capabilities, Maddie, to pause it up, but that's just one suggestion. I mean, I don't have a problem knowing shit before Brian. I mean, that's cool with me. Just a suggestion. Just throwing it out there.
Rat bastard.
I mean, it has become a staple of these live reaction shows of us having info before Brian.
Yeah, but then I look like an idiot, like on the intro we have there, and I'm just sitting there waiting for freaking something to happen. You guys are cheering. I'm like,
I mean, you keep up tradition and appearances. We are traditionalists here.
The plot of every joke.
So Ryan was asking all of you guys, who were your favorite one or two hockey players during this era? Sergei Fedorov was my favorite because he could do everything before he left Detroit. There wasn't anything he couldn't do. I wish he would have kept it up and didn't deal with injuries. Rod Brindamore was my favorite Flyer. He did everything on the ice and was a workout warrior.
He still is a workout warrior.
During this era, during this particular era, let me think.
That's one. Grade 8. Despite what other people think, he's my grade 8. Teemu Selanne. He's a great goal scorer, great all-around player, great all-around man from what I hear. The same thing as Fedorov. There wasn't a lot that Selanne couldn't do. He was quick on his feet. He was agile. He had great vision. Knew when to shoot. Knew when to pass. Played a hell of a career. He's a Hall of Famer. 600 and some odd goals in his career. And Paul Kariya is probably my other one. But if we're going to talk outside of Anaheim, favorite Flyer growing up was Eric Desjardins. I love the way he played defense. He was a hard-nosed player. He had a huge offensive upside. He was a great power play guy. Datsuk is good too, Rye. He was a human highlight reel. He's from what I understand, he's still playing in Russia too. From that era, though, it's so tough because there's just so many to choose from. Gretzky, Messier, just to name a couple. You had Rob Blake. You had,
waiting to see if you say my guy.
Dude, I have so many names in my head, I can't even keep them all straight at the moment. Yeah, Chris Pronger. Pronger was a good one. Yeah. Great guy as well. And
fuck that.
Recky's another good one.
Recky, yeah, sure. My guy's Brett Hull.
Yeah, Brett Hull's another really good one. What a goofy guy he is. He's got such a great personality.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me, mine from this past era, probably one of my favorite players would be Gagne. He's always going to be one of my favorites. I don't care if, in the 2010s, he started to trickle off there. He was still he's my favorite Flyer, and he's still one of my favorite players, so I didn't care. And then the other player that I always really liked, again, as a non-Flyer, even if it was the end of his career, still loved him. Only didn't love him that, couple seasons where he was playing in the East, and that's Jarome Iginla. I mean, they were, Iginla is one of those guys, man, I would have loved to have seen him on the Flyers in his prime because, man, he would have fit in real well in Philadelphia because he was tough and he could score and he could speed. Like, he was an amazing all-around player. And all I could say is, It's a shame he never won a cup. That's the real sad situation. He never got his hands on the cup. The closest he got was 2004.
Yeah, another good one that nobody seems to mention. And I see Benny throwing up Forsberg's name in there. He was a good one. And then Zetterberg from Don Don, who's another one. And now Anthony threw out McGillney. Pavel Bure. Poor guy had his career cut short because of an injury, and we never really saw him at his full potential. We knew what he was. I mean, the dude's a Russian rocket for a reason. A hard-nosed player, great speed, amazing shot, just awesome. He was just an awesome player, and it's a shame he was taken out too early.
Fabulous save by Hart in front of the net, but then he lets one go.
Well,
the power play.
Oh, well. I mean, come on. It's not like we didn't expect this. Draisaitl gets himself a goal, and, the Oilers are now in front.
And I believe that is point number 650 for Connor McDavid.
There you are. Whew. It's already at that many points. Jesus.
At 25 years old, yep.
Well, it's tough, Carter makes a nice save. You got to clear the defensive zone for him. You let that second chance on the power play with a talented player like Leon Draisaitl. He's going to find the back of the net. So many goals being scored up top too. This year, I've noticed too, like an alarming rate. Like it almost makes you doubt the butterfly system.
Yeah. I see Greg in the chat. Greg, that's his brother. His brother married Candace Cameron. Pavel didn't. That was Valeri.
Valeri wasn't a bad player either.
He was all right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, he was a solid depth guy. He wasn't like Pavel, but he was a solid player.
Yeah, he was a good third line, checking line type of player. He wasn't even close to the goal scorer that Pavel was.
No.
So I gotta ask. You had two guys standing right there in front of the net, right?
Yeah.
You had Risto and you had Sanheim. Why are they not clearing Kane out of the way?
That is a very good question to be asking.
Yeah. Well, they're penned in. Long shift. I could make a couple other excuses if you want them.
I mean, at this point, none of this surprises me. But yeah.
Craig, he said, "Oh damn, I thought it was Pavel. My life was a lie."
Yeah, it's my brother.
Let's see. Anthony saying Ronnie Francis. Ron Francis, of course, great player, great captain too. Benny's Nation saying my favorite pylon was Jeff Bokaboom. My favorite hockey name is Jeff Bokaboom because I'm still waiting to see if anyone will ever have a better name than that, and I still don't think anyone will. Let's see here. Greg saying because they both suck balls.
Well,
wait a minute. Are we still talking about Candace?
I'm pretty sure that Sanheim sucks balls. Risto, I can't say that. Risto does. He's been pretty solid this year. He's got to make up for having a half a defenseman in Travis Sanheim.
Yeah, I think a big goal of certainly of Chuck and even Danny B coming in is making this team bigger, and it really seems like that like Chuck goes, I gave up so much. Yeah, he's part of our future. You know what I mean? In town hall yesterday. So, I like it. You know what I mean? But you got to do your job too. There, I get it. It's a long penalty kill, but it's tough. Edmonton Oilers, they're going to put some goals in.
Yeah,
that's so negative.
Joe also said, by the way, thought Rob would say T.O. Fleury.
Ooh, I was thinking about throwing his name out there, but he had a lot of issues. He could have been so much better than he was.
Yeah, truth. Oh, second goal that Sanheim missed tonight.
What's up, Jesse?
What up, Jesse? Yeah,
Jesse,
I like Fleury. He was a Ranger. So not one of my favorites. I mean, we all know who my favorite Flyer is of all time. Do I even need to say it? Yeah, I'll say it for some of our newcomers. Sean LeClaire, no doubt about it. Especially of that era,
No,
Good,
yep.
good.
Yeah, John
Good pressure
LeClaire.
to end the
Great.
period. Good pressure there for them to end the period.
Yeah.
We'd like to see
And
him answer, but
Brian saying, whenever you guys are stressing out about the Flyers, just remember at least they aren't as incompetent as Rob Manfred and the MLB. I don't know. The Flyers do a great job of being pretty fucking incompetent. So
no, no. I'm with Ryan on this one. Brodo, bring up a fantastic point. They will never be as incompetent as Rob Manfred.
Why are you waiting until deadline day to pull the marathon of negotiations? Why are you waiting 6 weeks from when you locked out the players to even start talking? And then you're having like one meeting a week, 2 meetings a week. And as the pressure goes on, then all of a sudden you think the other one's going to fold and it just becomes a pissing contest. So, it's mismanagement. You're talking about this is going to be the first work stoppage since 1995.
I feel bad for Braves fans because this happened the last time that they won the at least the last time they won the World Series. This happened too. And you might want to get your future wife's name right. It's Taryn Hatcher.
Yeah, who is Taryn Fletcher? I hope that she looks half. If she looks even half of what Taryn Hatcher does, then you got yourself a nice lady.
I don't see this marriage lasting very long. And if
he can't even spell the bride's name properly.
Is there something you want to tell us, Chuck?
Maybe he has a daughter named Taryn. We don't know. Let's be real. We don't know.
That's true. Well, I don't think any of us really want to know, quite frankly. Brodo's saying, at least the Flyers are playing. He puts that in quotes, which at least he had the forethinking to do that. And then he says, well, kind of at the end of that, which, yeah, kind of.
They've been playing well. Like I said at the beginning of the show, they've been playing well the last few weeks. They just need to figure out ways to close it. And
Jesse's saying, didn't see the poll. I'll disagree. Easy. It will be tough, and tough even if he gets a chance to leave Edmonton. He can't even pass Crosby staying in Edmonton. I hate to say that that's possible, but Edmonton isn't exactly. They haven't figured out how to put a team together. Hence why they haven't gotten out of the first round with Connor McDavid except for one time. So,
no, it's the truth though. But Jesse, I said in the beginning of the show, man, that's going to be a huge reason why he either succeeds or fails at reaching the record. The kid's only 25 years old. He's got 650 points after the assist on the first goal for the Oilers tonight. That's a great start. We'll see where he is in 10 years. That's going to play another part in whether or not he gets there. Could he do it? It's possible. He plays the same style. He plays with another great superstar in Leon Draisaitl. Most of the points that he gets are on the special teams anyway. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes.
All right, and with the end of the first period, we'll go into our first intermission. But before we do that, for the comments we got rolling in from the fam, which we always love because you guys make A2D worth doing. That's brought to you by Gleason's Bar, which is located 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off of your order whenever you dine in, takeout, or online at Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com. Great food there, guys. Go check it out. Especially if you're in the Levittown area, if you want to, get yourself a quick bite, it's a good place to go to do it. So go check them out. And first period sponsor, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, or you have a change in career or brokerage, you want to go to Alan Foy at eXp Realty. Listen, guys, when you make any kind of big steps in life, you really got to take your time with it and be smart about it and not just jump into it. That's where a lot of people make mistakes. If you go to Alan Foy, it'll be done right. You'll be selling your home or selling whatever you need. You'll be doing that. You'll be doing that the right way, and then you'll also be doing a great move in a right way too. You could be moving into your first home. You could be moving from your old home. Either way, it doesn't matter. It'll be done the right way. And that's the important thing. So Alan Foy, exprealty.com. Check it out. That way you'll be moving on and taking that big step in life, and you won't be making a mistake while doing it. All right.
That's right.
So to our first intermission we go, and the first intermission, it's a question. The question is for everyone, of course. Who do you trade on the Flyers? Who do you want off this team, basically? I think we kind of already have an idea, but who do you really want to see just gone off this Flyers team? Like, throw them into the wastebasket. They ain't worth the trouble.
For me, it's a fairly easy question for me to answer because I think you can. I had a conversation with the guy in Flyers Nation. It was actually a very good conversation between us. With the rumors swirling, I trade TK. He's my number one guy that you move. You free up some cap space. He's got a ton of upside still. He's only 24 years old. He's got a few. I see Jesse's comment there. I think the Kings have some prospects they can send their way that could really help this team. The two names that really pop out at me, but I think the one is more doable than the other. One is Alex Turcotte. I would love to get that kid in here. Good winger, has a lot of scoring ability, can create offense as well. The other one is Arthur Keliev, another young kid. Haven't really gotten to see a ton of him yet. He's still up and down between the AHL and the NHL a little bit. Still not the biggest confident player for the Kings, but has huge scoring upside. A bit of a bigger body, can lay the body. That would kind of be like the deal that I would do. I don't know if you can get Turcotte though, because like I said, he's probably going to be a big piece in that rebuild for the Kings to really move forward. But I think Kaliev could be a piece that could potentially be moved to Philly in a return for a guy like TK.
Interesting. Robbie, who do you want to send packing?
Well, I mean, Joe's reading my mind right now. If you can get rid of the Kevin Hayes contract, I mean, hopefully we should see him back on the ice this weekend. You're going to have to see him play in order for that to happen, because coupled with the contract, you also had core surgery that didn't quite go right. You know what I mean? And he had to miss even more time because of it. So he's going to have to prove healthy. I've been saying it for a while. I think Justin Braun could get you a nice return right now, and I think he helps the team, who's looking to strengthen their blue line as they make a push for their Stanley Cup hopeful there. JVR, I think it'd be another name if you can move him and get anything like that would be good too. Just try to keep your young core together, as much as possible. I wouldn't be even impartial to the point you said before, Matt, and I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to take your thunder away because I think I know where you're going.
We'll see. We'll see. And then Anthony saying, I heard the Flyers might trade Morgan Frost. I didn't read anything about that. I heard that he got reassigned to the Phantoms because Nate Thompson was coming back.
Right, and he's been struggling on this level. But you got to remember, I mean, this is only his second year as a pro. He was out all last year. I think they're going to be patient with Morgan. This is fake news. You heard Anthony.
I agree. I mean, I like Morgan Frost. I think he has a tremendous upside. As a Ducks fan, we saw something similar with Troy Terry, and now Troy Terry is sitting in the top 10 in goals scored for this season. So patience is going to be the big thing with him, and getting him to play a confident game, because that's going to be key for him moving forward. Right now, he's not playing a confident game. And I have a funny feeling a lot of it has to do with the success that the Flyers are having right now. And being stuck kind of down on the fourth line doesn't help him either. But he's still a really young kid, and he still has a lot of potential left. It's not like it's not like he's 27, 28 years old and we're worrying about what kind of player he's going to wind up being. He's still relatively, well, I believe he's 23, 24-ish. So, let him gain his confidence back in the AHL for a few weeks. See where the Flyers are. After the trade deadline, bring him back up and rock with him. Put him on a line where he can be effective. Put him with line mates that can help him be better. Because where he is right now, it just isn't working. And, now you're going to need leadership as well. So the veteran leadership is going to be huge in his development as well. And a lot of the success that Troy Terry has had, he gives the credit to guys like Ryan Getzlab, Adam Henrique, guys like that, because they kept him going. They kept him confident. They told him the good things that he was doing. And in practice, they were pulling him aside and doing working on things that he needed to work on. So the veteran leadership is huge. So, you got to keep some of those guys around. I know I see guys saying trade Hayes, trade JVR, trade Giroux. Some of those guys have to stay for these young guys to really develop. And if I had to choose any of them, obviously I would choose G as my number one, but Hayes would be my number two. I get the contract and all, but his leadership is second to none on this roster.
All right. So for me, basically, I'm sticking with what I said a long time ago. Blow it the fuck up. Get rid of as much as you can and keep the young players and build up from scratch. Because I'm just not buying this shit anymore. I'm tired of this plug and play bullshit that I've been seeing year in and year out. So that's why I'm so disheartened, if anything. I'm not even really looking forward to next year because the same shit's going to happen next year. They're going to fucking fail, and then they're going to keep on fooling themselves, thinking like, oh, we just got to make one or two adjustments. Fuck you guys. Sit on this and rotate, you stupid pricks. Like, you guys are never going to fucking get it till you blow it the fuck up. Like, it's just as simple as that. Do what every other team ever did. Sucked for a while and then got better. Wow. Like, that's how sports works? Yes. It's all fucking sports works. You got to suck and then you get better. It's just how it goes at the end.
That's not necessarily true because you see how many, I mean, yeah, some rebuilds take longer than others for sure, but I think a lot of it is drafting, making sure you're drafting well, your scouting is good, and you put in the right free agents, you sign guys to decent contracts, and you keep a rotating door. Some teams do that really well, some teams don't. I think a lot of that depends on who your general manager is, your director of scouting, how good your front office is. A really good front office, you'll never have to rebuild. You'll just have to retool and just keep the door rotating, and you will never have to worry about it. But to your point, Matty, yeah, I mean, I think this team really needs to blow it up? No. But I do think there's a lot of guys on this roster that have to go. And some of them you're not going to be able to move. Some of them you're not going to be able to move. But to your point, there needs to be changes. I absolutely agree with that. There needs to be changes here. You have to get a little bit younger. I don't necessarily think you have to blow everything up, but you have to get younger. You have to bring in some fresh blood. And you have to recreate a culture in the locker room that was once Flyers hockey.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not really looking forward to what this regime's got because this regime, to me, is clueless. So I'm really not looking forward to it.
I mean, everybody thought Hextall was, the greatest GM to possibly happen. And look at most of his draft picks. Most of them haven't hit.
Yeah, well. And that also makes me a little worried about Danny B. That would be the obvious replacement for Chuck Fletcher. If Fletcher doesn't figure out what the fuck to do, then it's like, well, what if Danny B turns out to be Hextall 2.0? It's like, then you're back to square fucking one.
But is it obvious, though?
I mean, that's usually what happens in Philly. Usually you get the older player into the, front office, and then eventually he becomes GM. It's the same trend over and over again, and they always do the same thing. Flyers are one of the easiest teams to predict because you know what they're going to do. That's what they do best.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think their biggest issue is Paul Holmgren still being a part of this organization. getting rid of him, I think, will help. Like I said, this team is an issue from top to bottom. It starts with the ownership and it just works its way down. But one thing we can definitely agree on is this regime is an issue, and it just needs to change. And you're probably not going to get the ownership to change. Change the president. Get Holmgren out of here. Create a culture that guys want to be around. Gets guys hyped up for games, hyped up for practice. Gets guys really like to fire under these guys. You don't really have that at the moment. You don't. You haven't had it for a few years. You got to recreate that culture.
Before we move to what Ryan said, Moira, by the way, hi.
What up, Mo?
This is what the question is. Connor McDavid will surpass Wayne Gretzky before retiring. Agree or disagree? So with that, we now go into what Ryan said here. Goes on to say, Flyers sign free agents and vets to deals to fill higher roles than they should have to. The vets should be speakers and leadership guys in the locker room guys. The young guys should be the high scoring and main point producers. Flyers are forcing the vets to do high scoring. This is why guys like Frost are being hindered and spots are being taken away from them by vets, being forced to do more than they should have to do.
I mean, I have to agree with that. I agree to the fact that, your vets should be the speakers. They should be the leaders in the locker room. I absolutely agree with that. Pulling the younger guys aside, showing them the ropes, getting them up to the speed and saying, hey, listen, good shift, but let's do this a little different this time. Really correcting some of the mistakes out on the ice for the younger guys. So I agree with that. I don't necessarily agree that it should be up to the young guys to be the high scorers. I think your vets need to be able to lead by example as well. So I think you need a combination there. You need young guys that can score, absolutely. Create offense, absolutely. Got to get your vets to score too, because they have to be. You want to talk about leadership, lead by example. So other than that, I mean, I completely agree with you.
So let's see here, and Mo does go on to say, what's up, Rob? And she does go on to say, what's up to me and Bri? What's going on? And Ted saying, Danny is an all-timer. He should be on TV, not working in a front office, and steal scouts from winning franchises. Joe also saying, what are we going to do for March Madness on here at the Hockey Happy Hour? Greatest jerseys of all time bracket, greatest hockey name of all time bracket, greatest hockey movie bracket. What we doing? I'm not sure yet.
You're taking away all our off-season stuff, bro.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've turned into a Flyers live reaction show during the season. So I don't know if we'll be able to really do a March Madness thing in the month of March Madness. It's okay, though. Off-season stuff, that's a totally different ballgame. Plenty of stuff to do there.
Sounds
the
like
greatest jerseys of all time bracket intrigues me, though. Put a thumbtack in that, please.
Hey, he just planned out 3 shows in the offseason, so let's go.
Yeah, we might as well, right? So we'll keep that in mind. So, Joe, don't worry. We'll do it. Just not right now. All right. So
it won't be for the March Madness, but we can always do brackets. We're allowed. We have carte blanche. We're a hockey show. We can do brackets all day long.
Absolutely. Maddie, we got the second period underway here. Who's it brought to us by?
The second period is brought to us by All Campus, and that is the home of the A2D ramp booth, in case anyone wasn't sure. Also, you know what's really cool, though, about All Campus is that the man himself, John Coyle, he's got great deals for you guys at the end of the day. He's got 20% off everything in the store, including hats, shirts, or team cornhole sets and such like that. You can wear your team colors with pride. All you got to do is take a little trip down to Ocean City, New Jersey. You get to take in that nice beach feel right there. And, go visit an awesome store to get your team merchandise. And, John, he can hook you up. He's got some great stuff there.
And I don't know if he's still doing it, but I believe they're doing 50% off everything, including the cornhole sets down there right now. It's a big blowout sale.
Yes.
I would check it out before you go. Like I said, not sure if he's still doing it, but he was.
Yeah, so definitely check that out, guys, because they got great stuff there. They really, really do. All right.
I got my Eagle
Person
Pass from there,
say-
man. It's great stuff down there. So definitely go check out our friend John.
Per se, he's finally off work. Now I got to pick up some. We know what you meant. Joe,
Oy vey.
Joe saying this whole Flyer season has been an off season since the third week of the regular season.
Started off so well. That's a shame of it all. That's a real shame
Yeah.
of it all. So if and you guys have pointed out before that the injuries certainly did not help this Flyers club and what was possible or what have you. But ultimately you put the finger at the core because good teams will, overcome that. They'll, I made the comparison last week. I'll say it again. Pittsburgh Penguins were ravaged by injuries this season, and they're now sitting second in the Metro, I believe 4 or 5 points behind the Carolina Hurricanes. The depth helps, and that's what this team needs to build, and it needs to come from the young guys that you're developing and from the draft.
No, I absolutely agree with you, Robbie, because it's injuries. The injury excuse can only get you so far. Is it key guys for the Flyers? Yeah. I mean, you miss Coots out there. He's a shutdown centerman. You miss Ellis out there. He's a shutdown defenseman. You miss Hayes out there because of his leadership ability. His penalty kill is also pretty good as well. As a whole, it hurts. But you still have some key guys in there that just need to step up, and they're not. Keith Yandel, one of them. He's been pretty god awful all season long. Derek Brassard has been battling injuries as well, but he's also missed time for being a healthy scratch too. So he's not playing to the level that you expect him to play at. You need these guys as a whole to step up. Some of these guys have been on this team for too long to be not in the situation that they're in. And JVR, streaky, TK, streaky, Sanheim, he's awful. I agree with you, Rob. Like some of these guys that have been on this team for a while, they really need to step up.
Yeah, you just got to get bigger, man. That's the problem. I mean, you got faster, but they went to the opposite direction. They went way overboard with just trying to get good puck handlers, guys that could skate and beat the rush. They're just not strong enough to win those battles in the corners. And you just see even a guy low on the lower end of the totem pole and Patrick Brown just absolutely demolished the opposing center after the faceoff. That's where you got to build this team moving forward. I'm not saying go back to the Broad Street, but somewhere in between would be nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because the one thing that you want to do, it's the same thing with football, man. When you're playing on the defensive side, what's the one thing you want to do to really, stop a team from driving down the field on you? What's the one thing you want to do? You want to put pressure on the quarterback. You want to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. You want to make him really, make mistakes, force mistakes, hit him, knock him down, all that other stuff. You make him uncomfortable in the pocket. You want the same situation with the puck carrier on the offensive and the defensive zone. You want to make your opposing players uncomfortable with the puck. A lot of that comes from hitting. Right. They're just not physical enough. They really aren't. They have some good players that can hit, but it's not everybody. One of the guys that the Flyers brought in who I think is going to earn another contract at the end of the year is Jerry Mayhew. He's not afraid to hit. He's not afraid to get in dirty areas. He does a lot of good things with the puck, and he's getting rewarded for it because he's putting himself in good position as well.
Right.
I think there's a penalty coming up on the Flyers. But Joe's saying, I'll tell you guys, your shows during the beginning of COVID is when I started tuning into E2D, and they were my favorite shows. Great combos. Well, thank you, Joe. And listen, we appreciate you saying that, and we appreciate you being here all the time, brother. We really do.
Of course, brother. We like knowing that you're over here commenting with us and staying safe, but we know you got a job to do, so we appreciate everything that you do for us to allow us to keep our freedoms to be able to do this, brother.
Absolutely. And, okay, so here we go. Paragraph time. Ryan saying, Right, but signing guys like JVR and Hayes to longer deals than they should to take spots with prospects not that long away says that they have a developmental problem. They don't know their guys. They felt a need to sign Hayes knowing Frost wasn't far away, and now Frost is being hindered from being a second liner. Not knowing their guys is a developmental problem. Trying to play Frost on a fourth line when he's a top 2 line is idiotic.
And I agree with that. I mean, JVR was an idiotic contract to bring back. Still not sure why they did that. But, I mean, Hayes is a little bit younger. You signed him to pretty much an identical deal as JVR. But I do think Hayes has more all-around ability than JVR does. So, to me, Hayes has more of a value than JVR. And Hayes would be the perfect guy. If he can stay healthy, I think if Hayes stays healthy and you can get Morgan Frost on a line with Kevin Hayes, I think that benefits Morgan Frost more than anybody. Because don't forget, Morgan Frost can still play the wing as well. He doesn't have to play center. I think that's his natural position as center, but he can play the wing.
Right.
So getting him on a line with Hayes, I think would be extremely beneficial, more than having a guy like JVR. But I agree with you. Absolutely.
I will say this. I did not like Hayes' contract the moment I saw it. Primary reason why I hate Hayes' contract is because, again, we just got done dealing with Andrew McDonald's contract, and we did it again. It's like, that's what I talk about when I see this team make the same mistakes over and over and over again. At some point, you would think that a freaking monkey would figure out, what the fuck is wrong with this team? Oh, that's right. We keep signing these long-ass fucking contracts for players that really shouldn't get those kind of deals. Like, listen, can Hayes be a great player? Yes, he can. But at the same time, it's like, is he really worth that much? I would argue and say no. I mean, hell, JVR wasn't worth his contract either. So it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we signing players that shouldn't be at that value level? Like, I could understand signing him to a decent deal with a decent salary price, but that's not decent. That's, okay, we're going to make a big investment in you. Oh, and give no trade clauses on top of it, which it's like, I understand why you did it for Giroux. I don't understand why you did it for Hayes. That really, really upset me from day one. And actually,
they traded for his rights, so
they
obviously
did.
You want to try and get some value back in that too. So, I mean, Kevin Hayes, when healthy, is a good player to have on the ice, man. And we saw that in his first year of his contract. I mean, last year he was hurt. This year he's hurt. Does that hurt the value of the contract? Absolutely. But I think we have a better idea of the style of player that he is versus, is he overpaid? Yeah, probably. But he also has a lot of value too. He's not just, you don't sign him for just his offensive production, which isn't the best. I believe he averages about 50 points a year, 50, 60 points a year. You're also paying him for his defensive skills, his leadership in and out of the locker room, on the ice. You're paying him for his abilities on special teams. So the only unfortunate part to Kevin Hayes' contract, to me, has been his inability to stay on the ice. And unfortunately, nobody can predict injuries. So when you sign into this deal, after the first year, I thought it looked great. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm with it. I'm okay with this contract. But again, to your point, Matty, and this is where I agree with you. Unfortunately, you can't predict injuries, and I think the injuries is really holding back his value.
Yeah, that's the shitty part of
earlier.
That's, but again, that's why I'm not a fan of those kind of contracts. It's just, you're really taking a risk when you do those kind of deals. And I get it. Sometimes you got to take a risk, but it's just, you just got done.
Every team does it though, Matty. It's not just the Flyers. Every team has
done
it.
I know. There's plenty of teams that have done it. It's just, you would like to see your team be smarter than that and be like, well, hold on. Let's pull this back. We just got ourselves out of a bad deal. Let's not try and put ourselves into a potentially bad deal. I'm not going to say it's bad just yet. Does it look bad? Oh, yes. It looks very bad right now. But we'll see if Hayes comes back and he's able to live up to it. But at the same time, it has the potential of being very hazardous right now, and it's starting to unfortunately go down that path instead of going down the path of, it had the potential, but it actually wasn't. It's just, I just don't like those deals because they hurt the team moving forward, especially with cap. Because it's one thing if you don't have a salary cap, you know.
Third year with the Flyers, I believe, right?
Yeah,
this is the third year of the 5-year deal.
Wait a minute, the pandemic year didn't count? Oh, no, you're right. It's third year. My bad. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. This is his third year. When he signed the contract, he was 27. So a deal like this doesn't look as bad except for when you're doing it with James Van Riemsdyk, who is a little bit older. But all right, just go with me on this. Just hear me out.
Okay.
So we're looking at some of the numbers going into his year with the Flyers, and I kind of oversold him a little bit. He's actually averages about 40 points a year, which again, respectable numbers for the type of player that he is. So his first 4 or 5 years were with the Rangers. He averaged about 45 points a year for the Rangers. So we're looking at the power play numbers. Solid power play points. His rookie year, 5, and they go up from here. 6 points the next year. 7 points a year after that, 8, 11 into his final year with the Rangers, and then going off to Winnipeg where he didn't have any. But he only played 20 games with the Jets the year he got traded at the deadline and had 13 points. Unfortunately, coming over to the Flyers, though, his best year was his first year, 23 goals, which was the second most in his career, 18 assists for 41 points. His assist numbers being down that year, I blame on who he had on his line with him. So I think he had to do a little bit more shooting than anything. In fact, that first year was the most shots he had in his career at 175. Following year, pandemic season, numbers are obviously going to be a little bit lower. Played 55 games last year out of, I believe it was 56. So he missed 1 game. 31 points for the year, minus 22. 127 shots. Again, shortened season, so the numbers aren't going to be as bad or as good. Sorry. Still wound up having 9 power play points last year. And this year he's only played 20 games so far for 9 points. He's a minus 12. Again, him being on the ice for a minus 12, I don't necessarily fully blame on him. A lot of that I blame on the defense and some of the goals given up by Carter Hart. Not all of them, but some of them. 41 shots on net. Solid numbers. Are they worth the $7.5 million cap hit that he has? No, obviously, but not at all. But I think Kevin Hayes is the type of player that you have to keep on this team for at least another year. I don't know who even takes that contract right now. Just keep him off the ice. Let him get healthy. Let him get his mindset right. I mean, he is dealing with a lot with everything going on. But we've seen what he is, who he is as a player in the NHL. I think he's worth holding on to for another year. And then when he's in the final year of his contract, if he's still not living up to it, you move on. Do I think it's a mistake? Not necessarily. But I think next year is going to determine how big of a mistake this contract really was.
All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we, on that one? Ryan does go on to say, if Frost leaves, he'll produce 70 points in a team who knows how to use him. Then everybody will complain. Well, it wouldn't be the first time the Flyers failed. Anthony's saying, what I don't get is you having a pretty good farm system and let the young players grow and get better.
One of the worst farm systems in the league, bro.
Yeah. Ted saying you make that kind of move when you're ready to compete for cups or signing your young superstar. And Ryan then go on to say, tripping on Konecny, it looks like. Ryan saying this is not on Frost, it's on the Flyers, why he's in the situation he's in. He isn't a fourth liner. He needs to play with those who put up points. Say what you want to say, but it makes a difference. A guy who is a playmaker needs to be on a line with those who score. Flyers cause these problems. I agree. I think the Flyers cause more problems with younger players with a lot of the plug-and-play crap that they try because, like I've said before, this is an organization, and I think a lot of it comes from two factors. One, it comes from we have to compete now. We have to win now. We have to win now. We don't want to rebuild. We don't want to be out of the playoffs long term. We want to be in the playoffs every year. And if we have to, we'll retool it and fix it in the offseason, and then we'll get back into the playoff hunt. That's how the Flyers' philosophy has always been. Well, it comes from that, and it also comes from the fans. And I know someone might scratch their head at that, but hear me out. The fans believe that, and there are still some that believe if you make the playoffs, anything can happen. Technically, you're right. Anything can happen. But at the same time, when you only get to the promised land of the Stanley Cup Finals once out of how many times you've tried it, and you didn't even win that time, that's a bad trend where it's like, oh, okay, we're either a first round out or we go on a decent run and get eliminated, or we go to the Stanley Cup Finals and got eliminated. It's like, that's not a trend to continue. You want to try and fix that and try to say, okay, what can make us have the real best chance to succeed? That's where you want to go towards. Maybe it was the best way to do it when you didn't have a salary cap and when maybe you could go out and make a shit ton of deals and get away with it. But in this new era, you got to change things up a little bit. You got to start thinking a little bit more logically here. You know, like, yeah, Flyers have money to spend, but you got a cap that tells you, well, you can't spend that much. You know, so again, I think that there's two factors that come into that. I think that there was a fan wanting to see the Flyers compete all the time and get the big players. I think we were used to that. And a lot of the fans expected that to continue. But now I think we're starting to realize that wasn't the best trend to follow. Now we got to start trending the follow of building through the draft and getting younger again. You know, and now we're seeing the Flyers not buying into that completely. They're still trying to plug and play and stay competitive when they should consider, you know what? Maybe we do need to rebuild this. Maybe we do need to take our time with this and not try to fix it in a year and go for the gold. You know, that's where I think the problem is. That's where the disconnect is now, where we're at in this organization.
Yeah, I mean, that philosophy would allow, you know, guys like Bobby Brink, who's leading all college players right now in points, letting Tyson Forrester get healthy and develop, you know, allow some of these guys to really, you know, where you're not, you know, having to bring them up sooner than later, taking your time with it, like you're saying, right? And really allow these building blocks to grow and then, you know, add around them and keep on adding around them and whatnot. We've seen that happen, be a good philosophy that's worked out in New York with the Rangers, with Brian's Anaheim Ducks, you know, and I hope at least that's the direction that they're thinking of going at this point.
I mean, Matty, to your point, you have to get in the dance to give you even self a remote chance, because we've seen how many teams have we seen over the last few years probably not deserve to win a cup, but wound up winning it just because they got in. You never know what can happen once you get in, man. You just got to get in the dance and give yourself a chance.
True.
It's true, but it's just like, I mean, yeah, that happened with St. Louis, Bennington, hot team. They rode it all the way to the Stanley Cup, and they actually won. But, you know, the Islanders were hot in the playoffs too, and they got eliminated twice in the same team that went on to win the Cup. And so it's like, it's a double-edged sword, and the Flyers, unfortunately, were always falling on the other end, not the St. Louis Blues end. I mean, and a lot of teams that have won.
But you have to remember here, Matty, this is a major market. This is a major sports market. It's a top 3 sports market. You can't afford to have a city like this be out for as long as they are. I mean,
And that's where I tie it into. I think that's where another side of it comes from fan expectation of, well, this team needs to be competitive and this team needs to consistently make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
but you still got the players that can do that with Wade Allison, Tanner Lazinski. There's a nice, the talent level is staggered really nice where you're not going to, you know what I mean? You could still rebuild and not be non-competitive during the rebuild. You think of Isaac Ratcliffe, what we've seen from him so far in his first taste in the NHL this season. There's building blocks and they're staggered well, and you continue and you get a big name in this draft. You also got Noah Cates too. I really have I got a good vibe of having another set of brothers in the city of brotherly love to turn the juju around. And I think like Jackson has been okay, solid, maybe a good third, bottom six guy for your club. But when you got brothers who've been playing together for a long ass time, maybe that picks up his level of play. And they're very excited about Noah as well. So I'm not as sad as I should be right now because I see this in line. I can see it playing out.
yeah, and I mean, like Matty, like I said before, brother, I'm with you. This team does need to get younger in some aspects of the game, but you still need some of the older guys. Did they make the wrong choice on some of them? Absolutely. I can't sit here and deny that. I mean, you may have, and it's still very early to tell. You may have made a mistake with Ryan. I mean, you want to throw Kevin Hayes on. Let's throw Ryan Ellis under the bus as well. Did we make a mistake trading for Ryan Ellis? Right now, it's looking like yes.
That trade looked bad for all parties involved, actually, because nobody's panned out.
None of them are looking good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I still don't know why anybody traded for Nolan Patrick, but anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But you need to have these guys, and these guys need to be healthy. That's the number one overall, because guys can only develop so far by themselves in the AHL. They have to get to the NHL level. They have to rely on some of these veteran guys to help them get to that next level. And to Ryan's point earlier, that's where you need to have these guys. It's where Anaheim is having success. It's where LA is having success. It's where these guys that are starting to really put things together and start to really compete after these starting to come out of the rebuilds here. They rely on guys like Ryan Getzlaf and Anze Kopitar and all these other veteran guys who are true leaders. You need the vets. You need them. Are they blocking some of the pass? Yeah. Guys like JVR are definitely doing that because, I mean, Bobby Branks, to Robbie's point, yeah, he's leading the NCAA hockey in points, but he hasn't signed his ELC yet. Yeah. Cam York needs to get healthy and get back up here. That's another guy. You get Keith Yandel taking up a spot. You got Derek Brassard taking up a spot. These guys have really not shown much value since signing with this team. So you're plugging and playing in some aspects. I absolutely agree with you, Matty. But in other aspects, you need to have some of these guys here. You have to have it. And then as these guys are starting to really show up, that's when you start pushing some of these vets out the window and plugging in the younger talent. Which is what they need to do with Morgan Frost. They really need to push somebody out and get him up here. And then Cam Atkinson, you got to hold on to this guy. He's not a kid. He's my age.
Yeah. but as long as you build for the new, because let's face it, Brian, this has been a formula that hasn't worked for the better part of a decade. It just hasn't worked for one reason or another. For a short time, right before the pause, they were the best team in hockey. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it was a good series of puck luck because it turned out to be fool's gold, or you just lose that edge. You know what I mean? You understand a system, you're playing under AB's system and it's clicking. And then all of a sudden a little chick comes out of that gear and you're broken down on the side of the road. That's what the Flyers are right now. They're broken down on the side of the road.
Absolutely. So you need to find some new pieces and put this shit back together. And
you call AAA, and to coin a baseball term, you look to the minors. I mean, even if you want to move on from guys that you weren't satisfied with their draft value, like I've seen Provorov mention when we were talking about Flyers that I think that was Jesse who threw that out there. You got young talent. You mentioned one of them before just now, Cam York. You got Igor Zamula. down there who's been a talented defenseman for the Phantoms. You got another kid I've been getting into, Ronnie. It's Hart. You know, there's some depth here, and you just got to continue to maximize upon that.
Yeah, I mean, move on from guys like Yandel. Just move on from some of these guys, and the season's washed. See what you got. You know, utilize. Now, this kind of changes my whole point of view on trading Giroux at this point, because do you want to get something for him? Absolutely. Do you want to let him walk for nothing? Absolutely not. You want to get something of value for him. But if he wants to stay here and he wants to be here, now's the time I think you call some of the younger guys up and move on from some of these other guys and see what you have. Let them take the reins. Right. Let Drew be like, all right, let's go. All right, so sit down with Mike Yao as the captain. Say, I want this guy here, this guy here, this guy there. Kind of come together and put your lines together with vets and young guys and just see what you got. See what you got. Let Tyson Forster come up and get a little taste. You know, get Bobby Brinks signed to his ELC and get him into the rotation here. You know, get Zamula up. See what he's got. I mean, Jackson Cates is what, 26 years old?
Probably about that.
Time to see what he is. It's time to see what he is. He's 26. You bring up Jerry Mayhew, look what you got. You got a dog. You got a dog in Jerry Mayhew. You got a dog in Wade Allison. Let's see what other energy guys, see what other dogs you got down there. It's Philadelphia.
Guys that'll fight for the puck.
Exactly.
Guys that'll fight for the puck. Jackson's 24, actually.
Oh, is he? I thought I saw he was 26. Yeah. But either way, that doesn't change what I'm saying. Bring him
Even
up.
Better.
You got a dog.
Even better. Yeah.
Uh-huh. You got a dog.
Joel Farabee's back in the lineup. Like, guys that win puck battles. That's what you want. You know what I mean? You're either going to do it through size or you're going to do it through technique. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, you start fucking drafting tree trunks right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you got. I think you need a defensive system, especially that you know. You strive for physicality, keeping the view of the goaltender clear. No, I know that's not going to happen 100% of the time. Somebody's going to sneak through.
Yeah.
But you need guys who are going to clear the front of the net, especially on the power play, so your goaltender has a view of the puck.
Yeah.
If Evander Kane isn't there, if he's pushed out of the way or at least boxed out, I think Carter Hart makes that save, and we're still looking at a 0-0 game.
Yeah.
You know, you got to build on physicality on defense. You can use some speed, absolutely. I mean, teams thrive with a good mixture of both. But if you look at some of the teams that are really succeeding right now, you have your one main offensive defenseman, and then you got two-way players from there. And then you have like one or two like really big, hard-hitting, physical defensive defensemen.
Right.
And you keep building from there. The Flyers are in a good situation right now where they're not making the playoffs. Time to see what you got. See what kind of dogs are down there. See who's really hungry for it. Because clearly everybody on this roster right now, aside from like 5 players, don't seem like they want it. So put somebody else in the jersey. Put somebody else in the jersey and throw them on the ice and see what happens.
God damn, I thought that was Draisaitl. 24 miles an hour going down the ice.
So
and they still called icing on it. Good for it.
McDavid's got sick nets, man. I can't
go.
Yeah. But
Edmonton.
was the net off the moorings before it crossed the line?
They'll probably take a look at it, but I'm gonna assume it's a goal because it's a goal on the Flyers. Usually they
There's
count.
a lot to look. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot of the goaltender interference, potential challenge. They just crashing that hard.
I don't know. I don't think anyone interfered with Hart. No one really interferes with Hart here. I think Yamamoto just slots it in before the net comes off the moorings there.
Yep.
Hart made a great save, though, originally. Just unfortunately, couldn't get that puck out of the blue paint.
Despite having Risto in there, they're just the Oilers play big, they play tough, and they crash the net hard. That's exactly what they did there.
Yeah, that's a good goal. Unfortunately, there's no goaltender interference there. Risto did a good job of boxing out Kane there, and then just hell kind of ensued on that one. And Yamamoto was able to get a stick in there before Kane did.
See, it's weird here. Okay, so Lindblom is here. All right, so Risto's trying to battle with Kane. Lindblom tries to help him out. Lindblom takes a couple whacks at the puck, trying to get it underneath Hart's pad there. And then Kane just does what Kane does best, and he shoves Lindblom right into the goal. And that, the puck's still loose. Risto doesn't get his stick on it, and that leads to the goal from Yamamoto, basically.
And that's what you see, too, with Lindblom and the time that he missed and lack of development, especially in size. He gets out-muscled on pucks like nobody's business. I mean, like, you love Oscar, and you love him to stick with this team, but he's got to develop.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at it black and white. You know what I mean? I know he's been through a lot and continues to go through a lot. Just because you're in remission doesn't mean that worry's taken away, that you're cancer-free for life. You know what I mean? So, it's a lot to ask of any man, but, you got to, in the end, it's a results-based business.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say about that goal there by Yamamoto, if Kane doesn't stick lift Lindblom there, that gives Yamamoto a clear shot. So if that stick lift never happens, you're looking at a situation where maybe Lindblom does actually get the puck first, and you're looking at one there. And I disagree, Benny. Unless you see something clear cut there, I don't think you challenge that. I don't think you risk the 2-minute penalty because there wasn't any clear cut notice of goaltender interference. There was Kane in the paint, absolutely, but that doesn't matter anymore. You didn't see Hart react to be like, yo, Kane hit me. Kane was touching me. He impeded my ability to make the save. And you can thank Risto for that, for getting in between. So he boxed him out for that. So that kind of just took that away. I don't think you challenge that there. I think you just take it for what it is. And it was just a crash goal.
Yeah, it's a bad defensive breakdown. Crashing the net can sometimes do that. That's why teams like to do it. And, it paid off that time for the Oilers. And it caused the Flyers to have a defensive breakdown there, and a little hole opened up for Yamamoto to slide the puck in the blue paint. All right.
Hey, Reyes Nico's calling us a bunch of dorks.
Well, thank you, Reyes. We appreciate it.
So what flavor Haterade you drinking, bro? What flavor Haterade you got there?
Mine was always Mountain, like the frost flavored Haterade. I don't know what you guys feel about it.
That Glacier though, that's bomb.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been called a dork since like 1987.
It's probably not that long.
That was back when that was like a real insult.
That's back when you're 3 years old and you think you did some damage. Like, yeah, I got him. I called him a dork. Let's go.
Yeah, check our Urban Dictionary. It might mean something different now in the 2022.
It might be.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, so Edmonton is currently on the outside looking in right now on the standings, but they're tied with Dallas though for that last wild card.
Bad start. It's such a bad start, similar to the Islanders. Well, actually, no. Their first couple weeks were good, but then they had that long cold streak.
Yeah. So
ever
let's
since
see.
the last time they played the Flyers, right now, I mean, they got a chip on their shoulder because they really, Flyers played an excellent game against them up in Edmonton tonight. Oilers, I think it's the first time that the Oilers have been here in 3 years. I mean, some of that during the pandemic, but still, it's been rare getting McJesus here in Philly.
Yeah, especially over the last couple of years. Anaheim's really falling on hard times right now, finding a cold streak here. Especially with the goal scoring, last couple nights, not good.
You think
So we
Cinderella, its clocks turn midnight, like they're coming back down to where they were supposed to be, or do you think it's just a little cold streak that they'll get over?
I think it's a little cold streak to get over. They got a bunch of playmakers in there now, and just
Yeah.
a little cold streak. Lucas Hepburn saying, "Let's go Oilers." What's up, Lucas?
What's up, Lucas? Did the Zegras chariot turn it back into a pumpkin? On
No. I mean, Zegras is fine. They just lost four. There's just an inability to get goals going and create some sustained pressure. Defense did not look good against the Islanders the other night, losing 4-0. And then they just didn't really have that edge they needed to get really going on the freeway face-off and losing 4-1 to the Kings. They just need to they'll figure it out. I'm not worried. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I thought they were overachieving a little bit, and I kind of bought into it. But I think we're starting to see a little bit more of the real team now.
Risto.
Not bad, but good. Not bad, but not good.
Well, they got a big test tonight in the Bruins.
They do.
Yeah, they do. And Anthony's saying, I'm going to be a Coyotes fan because they suck. No.
You know what you get. No hope.
You knew it already.
Dude, you're a professional hockey team playing at a college. Stop it. You're better off with the Flyers.
Benny's Nation saying lemon lime was his favorite Haterade flavor because it was bitter.
Lemon lime was a little bitter.
Well said.
I was always an orange guy. I was always orange.
Oh, man.
That's a tripping. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Okay,
listen.
at least you got the stick in the midsection.
I'll take it. At least the Flyers got away with something.
Oh, a break there.
Yeah.
David was streaking.
Oh.
One defenseman I really like, young defenseman I really like for the Oilers is this kid Brogdon. Oh, yeah, Brown totally got away with one there.
See.
He's big. He can be physical. He's got some offensive prowess, and he's going to be a solid top 4 guy moving forward.
We just way through. Oh man, that was a really great play from Lawton there. Unfortunately, the puck got stopped by a stick check there and didn't have enough power to get through to the end where that was open. So, good defensive play ended that. But hey, that was a great try by Lawton there.
Good move. I mean, even set it up for the streaking winger behind him. It just happened to control the puck and denying the shot.
Yeah, good. It's just good defensive stick there. Stop that puck from getting over there.
So, you kill a penalty for the most part, still 20 seconds left. They'll get 20 seconds on a clean sheet of ice for the start of the third, but you killed a majority of that penalty against the top 5 team in the NHL on the power play. Use that for some momentum. Doesn't always have to be a goal. Let's go.
No, you're right. So at the end of 2, it is 2-0 Edmonton. They got a couple of goals. The first one was a shot on the power play that was from the point. That was a goal for Draisaitl, and then a crashing of the net leads to a defensive breakdown. Lindblom and Ristolainen, after Hart made a great save, could not get the puck underneath of Hart to get a whistle or clear it. So that led to Yamamoto being able to slide the puck in from the blue paint into the wide open net. And so that leads us to our 2-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah. And Anthony's saying, let's send down the Flyers to the ECHL and bring up the Reading Royals because at least they show heart. And even though the whole team works at Walmart, the Reading Royals, at least they play.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny. It's funny, but
Joe's saying Flyers can't blow a third period lead if they are trailing. I see what you. Yeah, okay, Joe. I see. All right. So at the end of the second period, we go to our second intermission, and the second period was brought to you. Or no, actually, we did our second period sponsor, so we're good there. Actually, forgot. But all the same, though, do check up All Campus. Do check them out. Still, will say that right now.
I got super excited. I thought Liv Morgan requested to follow me on Instagram, and I realized it was a fake one from PA. I'm like,
That was the moment. It was like this. Now it's like this.
I love Liv Morgan. I love her so much. She's like my favorite person in the world.
Well, Liv Morgan is pretty hot. Can't deny that. Cannot deny that at all. But I thought your favorite person in the world was Taryn Hatcher.
No, she's my favorite hockey chick in the whole world.
Ah, got you. You say you categorized it.
Come on, man. Keep it straight.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't know you categorized.
I definitely categorize.
I didn't know you had a file system. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I wonder, though, is it like a black filing cabinet, because instead of the little black book, it's my black filing cabinet. Let me pull that out here. Anyway.
Oh, boy. I can't even. Don.
Saying Brian would be the type to get catfish.
I would probably be that guy. I would probably be that guy.
I do hear you on Liv Morgan, though. She looks like if like Margot Robbie and Jessie Jane were able to have a child together. That would be Liv Morgan.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, absolutely. Yo, dude, this fucking Penguins fan, get him out of here.
Yeah, I know, but hey, listen, he's alumni, so he unfortunately gets all the benefits of being an alumni. I can't actually.
What's up, Mike?
Flyers are so bad, I can't even legitimately hate on the Penguins right now. Like, I'm not like one of those type of guys. I'll just admit defeat.
Clinky, what's up, brother?
He said, "I'm your biggest fan."
That's fast. Yeah, that's true. Can't deny that.
You, Mikey.
What's going on, brother?
So, real quick, while we're in intermission and we jump onto the intermission topic here, I'm going to answer Ted's question here real quick. I actually haven't gotten a chance to actually watch it yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get the Sixers games down here. But from what I'm seeing, stats-wise, and from a lot of the stuff that the guys here on HTD are talking about, I love it. 176 points in 2 games between Embiid, Harden, and Maxey is pretty fucking impressive. I love it. Though. I think he's going to bring a whole nother dynamic to the Sixers team, and I think they're going to be really good. I think a lot of it's going to depend on Doc Rivers and his coaching style from here on out. But I definitely think they are one of the teams that are most likely to get to the finals. So for me, after that trade and after the first couple games, it's got to be finals or bust for the Sixers.
Well, I mean, my novice thoughts on this is you bring in a player like James Harden, it's almost like bringing in like a player coach. Like, you know what I mean? He's another guy that's been in a lot of situations that can assist Doc. You know what I mean? You even saw it when he first came, like talking to the young guys, you know what I mean? Like just being that leader.
Oh yeah, this is a team he wants to play for. It's a city he wants to be in, and you saw it already. Like Rob, like you just said, he was coaching the guys on the sideline after he got here. He wasn't even playing yet.
Right.
So that's a huge step up for the leadership ability that he does have off the court. So I'm excited to see what this guy continues to do on the court.
So before we dive into around the league, I will take this time, since we did our second period sponsor before the second period got going, might as well get an opportunity to show you guys the benefits of becoming an A2D member. And these are the benefits right here. You get $9.99 a month, and the perks are appearances on shows, member-only streams, shout-outs, weekly sports picks, and, of course, the Money Pot Podcast in Willie Vegas. And you can take their advice, go to BetUSA, go to FanUp. You can go to wherever one you want to go to. Make yourself get that little side hustle like we talked about earlier. Before you know it, you're getting paid to be an A2D member.
Amen.
All right, and now back to it. We head to Around the League to talk about what's been happening around the NHL this past week. And Benny's Nation saying, "Come on, Brian, you know how to get the games." And then Anthony's saying, "What does the LA Lakers and the Philadelphia Flyers have in common? Excuses to lose, to get that number one, and they both suck." All right.
City.
Yeah. All right. So with that, time to go around the league. And Any major topics you want to talk about, Rob? Before the
Yeah, sure, man. I let off earlier in the show. I will rehash it again. Certainly the NHL coming out along with like several other predominant sports leagues. UE was it the soccer for EPL, the UEFA, I believe, Adidas, several others. Breaking ties with Russia. KHL and several athletic contests being canceled in relation to that. So I think that's big news. I think it's certainly it stands for just a great way in order to support people by not supporting the tyranny and that we see in this world. So I just applaud a league when they stand up and do the right thing like that. So that was huge for me. Also for Priz, if he's with us, I don't know if he fully got off work yet, but y'all got you guys selves a permanent GM in Kyle Davidson, who was the intern for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's been signed on officially today to be the 10th general manager in Blackhawks history. 33 years old. Fuck my life.
Rob, where did we go wrong?
Where did we go wrong, bro? It's a young man. It's a young man's world. I'm just hoping that I get into Bitcoin before I die. That's all I'm saying.
I don't even understand Bitcoin or any of that stuff. But one topic I do want to talk about with you guys, Robbie, if you're all done.
All finished. Yep.
Well, first of all, I'm also going to add to what you just said there. CCM has cut ties with marketing with all the Russian players in the NHL as well.
Right.
Do I understand what they're doing? Yeah. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, because, I don't think even some of these players and the people living over in Russia agree with what Putin is doing. So, I
didn't realize it was affecting.
I know it's one bad apple spoils it for the whole bunch. So,
I didn't know it affected our athletes over here. I thought it was just over there. I did not know that. Wow, it's interesting. I don't agree with that either. I thought Ovechkin came out and said exactly what needed to be said. I applauded it. What he had, you know what I mean? Say no to war.
Same, absolutely. But that's, like I said, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Again, I hope they find peace sooner than later. And this doesn't turn into anything worse than it already is. But anyway, so trade rumors. I want to get into one real quick. One of the names I've been hearing linked to the Flyers, actually two. We may have a trade breaking shortly. If it hasn't already. One of the trade rumors I'm hearing linked to the Philadelphia Flyers specifically is Jeff Petrie from Montreal. I want to get your guys' thoughts on bringing in a guy like Petrie.
I heard it, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It's just another guy to clog the system.
I don't really think it's necessary. It's like what's the point of bringing him in? That's like, okay, that's a deal you make if you're trying to be competitive this year, and the Flyers are not competitive. So what's the purpose of this? So,
well, go ahead, Robbie.
I just wanted to look up. Yeah, 34 years old too. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, I could understand.
A big fat no, Betty. That's right.
I could understand if this was a guy that I could understand the Flyers were in a playoff position, but they were fighting for a playoff position, and they wanted to get a little bit more strength on the D end, right? I forget.
He's defenseman.
Yeah, that's right. On the defensive end, and I could understand that then, but you're not competitive this year. Like we've been saying, I have no problem bringing up younger players and seeing what we got at this point, because fuck it, it's not like we're competitive this year. What's the point of bringing in Petrie? It's just a guy who's going to take up a roster spot that he really doesn't fit necessarily, or doesn't need to be here. Joe's saying only 34. He's too young for the Flyers.
I'm not against it. honestly, for the simple reason, the fact that he's actually a defensive defenseman. I get what you guys are saying. I'm bringing up his contract now because I'm not sure how much longer he has. But he's the type of player that you bring in and I agree. You bring him in as a competitor, but he's also a really, really good leader as well. He's a better leader than he is player, but he brings. Oh gosh. Yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe everything I was about to say is done. Yeah.
That changed real fast. That went south real quick.
So let me explain why.
Okay.
The Flyers would have him for 3 more years after this year.
No.
Oh, it gets better.
Okay, continue.
It gets better. You ready, Maddie?
Sure.
You have a problem with these types of contracts. He's making 6.25 with a cap hit.
Oh, God. Oh, ooh. Ah.
Yeah, it gets better. You ready?
Sure.
There's one more for you, Maddie. He's got a full no movement clause.
No. Oh, no. No, God, no.
I was going him, but not anymore.
No.
That's
Like,
a no for me.
Bring in Jeff Petrie for this team. Bring him into what? Create a leader. Do I want to be fucking waterboarded? No, I don't want to fuck Jeff Petrie. No, get him the fuck out of here. Who? Okay. Whoever came up with that trade deal in the front office should be thrown out the fucking window. Seriously. And the pink slip can follow. Good God.
No one brought it up. Montreal wants to ship him out and get some younger pieces in there.
Okay. I was saying if there was a rumor that there was a connection, they were like, well, whoever was saying that in the boardroom should be thrown out the fucking window because it's the dumbest thing I've heard.
If he was on a shorter contract and making less money, I would absolutely be all for it for his leadership and his ability to help the younger defensemen get better. Maybe you send a guy like Sanheim maybe you send Sanheim to Montreal for him. Send somebody younger. Because that's what they're looking for in return for a guy like Petrie, because they want to get a little bit younger.
I mean,
However, he needs his ability to help develop his pairing partner is really good, and he's shown that. And it's just been unfortunate for him. He's been stuck in shitty situation after shitty situation. But yeah, I was kind of about it, and now I see his contract not so much.
Yeah, I can see why Montreal's trying to offload. I can very
see they just want to be better.
If they'll take either JVR or Hayes' contract off of us, and it was the last year of his deal, that would be the only way I'd take Petrie.
Last year the deal, and then you trade for one of our bad contracts. Yeah, okay, I could see that, but yeah, and I could see it. And I could see it if, if the Flyers, like I said, if they were battling in a playoff spot and they really felt like they needed the depth. I mean, I still would say that it's a little risky going to that ballpark because of the contract and the no movement clause. But I could understand the move then. But yeah, no, not in the condition that the Flyers are in now. Absolutely not.
I mean, keep in mind, obviously he's not going to be the only move they make. If they make enough moves, and he's maybe like one of the last moves of the day, just to kind of fill in a hole there, but you still have enough holes to bring some guys up, I would consider it. I would consider it, but right now, no.
Yeah. No. So we're all in agreement. No.
The reason why, like I said, the reason why I even brought it up at first is because I thought he was an intriguing name to help some of these guys get to that next level. But I don't know if I'm good with a no movement clause for 3 more years and a 6.25 cap hit. Nope.
Go into the hockey player store and you see this shiny new, great-looking player on the mantle. Be like, oh, well, all you got to do is put a low down payment of $300,000 or $500,000 on an entry-level deal if you draft him. But then you get this broken-down piece of garbage that looked like it was capable of doing what it used to be able to do, and say, yeah, you got to pay this much because that's what he.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Jeff Petrie. You're talking about Keith Yandel.
Yes. But all the same, doesn't matter. Either way, the Flyers made a terrible investment. They went to the store and they purchased the wrong thing. They saw the big sale sign for fire sale and they purchased.
I mean, thank God they're not paying Yandel that much money.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? Whew. I think heads would have been lobbed off, and they'd be just they'd be put on pikes above the Ben Franklin as a warning sign to all future executives.
Yeah, thank God he's only making $900,000.
And he most likely won't be re-signed next year. He might even retire since he hit the Iron Man.
So if he's making $900,000 as a shitty defenseman, you think I could do the same?
Maybe. You just get the skating up a little bit, and the next thing you know, maybe you can. Yeah, I would go for it. Shoot for it, dude. Go for it, brother. Hey, if Keith Yandel could be a defenseman on the Flyers, anybody can be. Go for it, man.
Watch me be better. Who's the Daly guy? He's actually all right.
Yeah. It's like he can actually skate, whereas Yandel couldn't even do that.
He's blocking shots. He actually hit somebody. Who the hell is this kid? Where's he been? How old is he? Oh, he's 37? Oh, he's 37.
Oh, well, he's young. Let's sign his ass to a 12-year contract. Let's go, boys. And if that did happen, congratulations to you on that one.
Hey, I'm not Yager. I can't go forever.
Oh, Roscoe is saying the Ducks will bounce back, by the way.
I believe the same thing, bud.
And Anthony saying it was a joke because Clark and Holmgren loves those big contract players. Oh, they did, all right. They absolutely did. Nothing can make Clarkie and Holmgren salivate more than a veteran who was north of 30 and had a little bit of gas left in the tank, and you needed to sign into a long-term deal.
I am kind of sorry I brought that up. I want to see who else some other the trade deadline targets are.
Start of the third.
All right. So third period beginning. Oilers are still on their power play. Not a whole lot of time left on it. However, that has never stopped a team before. And
all right, who's the third period brought to us by?
The third period is brought to us by FanUp, which is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. They have daily NBA contests. And if you use the A2D promo code, you can get 5,000 bonus points, which is a $50 value. And all you got to do is go to fanup.app. And while they're doing the NBA right now for the daily contests, keep in mind the NFL will come back next season, and they'll have daily contests for them as well. So take the advice you get from the Money Pod podcast in Willie Vegas when you get your A2D membership and get your side hustle going.
Maybe we'll even get MLB daily contests. Maybe.
One can dream.
Come on, man. I'm losing money. It's costing me money now. Now I'm pissed.
That's true. I would be mad because I know you're in a few fantasy leagues there, and you do real well on them.
3 goals now. Sanheim has missed tonight. I mean, I get it. He's a defenseman, but come on now.
Yo, I'm very intrigued by this trade deadline. There's a lot of names on here.
Yeah.
Most of them are UFAs, too.
Don saying, will Connor score a goal in the third? Yes or no? Oh, I want to say no so bad, but I just have a horrible feeling it'll probably be a yes.
and it'll be after the Flyers come back and tie it 2-2, and he'll score to make it 3-2 like 17 seconds after the Flyers tied it at 2.
I believe you. I believe you are correct.
I have seen it in my crystal ball of Flyers let me down.
You did it last time. You knew it was coming, and it did.
But I mean, he has been streaking. There's been, that one from Patrick Brown, the hooking that wasn't called. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of grabbing on him, man. He's skating fast tonight, both him and Draisaitl.
Yeah. Let's see here. So right now, Flyers trying to get it out of they're trying to get to their point. They took a shot, went wide. Ooh. In front. Oh, damn it. Koskinen made the save.
What's some of the bigger names that you're seeing, Brian, on the trade block?
I'm seeing a lot here, boys. So just in the top 10 alone, obviously we have Claude Giroux in that top 10 there. But other than that, in the number 1 spot, you got Jacob Chikrin from Arizona who's got 3 years left on his deal at the ripe age of 23. I would love to see somebody, preferably a team in Southern California or the Flyers, go after a guy like Chikrin, 23 years old, $4.6 million cap hit over the next 3 years. So I think that's a good move for them. He'd be a good investment moving forward. Ben Sherratt. Now, this is an intriguing name because I thought I saw his name in a deal that is going to send him to Toronto. I've heard nothing since this afternoon from anything, so that may have been a false report. But I'm hearing his name linked to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We also have what was that?
That'd be a good fit.
That'd be a great fit. And it just makes them a lot more dangerous.
Right.
Tomas Hertl's name's on there. John Klingberg, Mark Giordano, who I got a funny feeling might get traded back to Calgary.
Get me out of Seattle.
Hey, they're red hot right now. No hotter team in the NHL than Calgary Flames.
Yeah, and Giordano, I mean, they only brought him in because of his cap hit.
That's true.
6.75. So it's the only reason why you bring him in, and he's in the last year of his deal. So you give Giordano an opportunity to win a chance to win the cup with the Flames. I think that would be a smart move for them. Bring the captain back. Right. Justin Braun, Alexander Georgiev, Colin Miller, defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres. Pavel Zacha, I think, is an intriguing name for somebody to pick up. I would love to maybe Anaheim go after Pavel Zacha, 24-year-old left winger. Max Domi, Phil Kessel, Marc-Andre Fleury, Brennan Hagel from Colorado, 23-year-old. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Just had a big goal the other night against the Devils. Hampus Lindholm, Andrew Cobb, Toronto's shopping apparently their first-round pick this year. They're going all in.
And Joe and Ryan were saying Jake DeBrusk still wants to be traded from the
He's
Bruins.
on here. He's on here. He's at 23 on the TSN list. Robert Hague's on the block at number 24 from Buffalo. Arizona's got their cap space. So it looks like they're willing to take on more bad contracts.
I'm sure they are. The cash dump of the NHL.
So the one thing, if I'm the Flyers and I'm looking at this list right here, I'm looking for wingers specifically. I think they're okay at center. I think they're a little too deep at center. I'm looking down the list here, and I'm like, all right, who can I bring in? Maybe bring in. No, he's 36 years old. Never mind. Connor Garland's apparently a name that's. Connor Garland's name's apparently on the trade block after just signing a deal with the Vancouver Canucks. Coming from Arizona, 25 years old. He's got 4 years left on his contract. Could be a solid investment. A guy that's was playing really well in Arizona last year. I haven't actually seen many of his numbers from this year yet. But he could be a good investment at 25 years old. Christian Fisher from Arizona is another one who's going to be an RFA at the end of the year. Christian Fisher is another one who could be a good investment as well.
Interesting.
Plays right wing. Vitaly Kravtsov from the Rangers is 22 years old, plays right wing. And I don't think you're going to be giving up too much to get these guys. Owen Tippett, a 23-year-old right winger from Florida.
Yep, Benny brought him up.
Another a bunch of intriguing names in here that are either 25 or younger. Jacob DeBrusk you can even go after because he's an RFA. He's 25 years old too at left wing. And we know DeBrusk pretty well, seeing him play with the Boston Bruins there. I think he could be a really good fit for the Flyers on the second line there. But like I said, some really intriguing names here that are fairly young that could really, really help some rebuilding teams here. And there's a lot of vets on here that can push some of these guys over the top.
By the way, speaking of some of those false reports that you were warning people about, this is a false report here. Just wanted to state that. Don says, if Connor scores, I will give everybody in the chat $100. I feel like I should block Don for making that comment, but I won't. I will resist the temptation. Don't believe what this man says.
No, because
do not listen.
$100 from last week.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for my Venmo.
Yeah. Did you make the request?
Joe, I heard Philip Forsberg's name out there. They want to keep him, but they are listening to. They're not shopping him. They're listening to offers, but they're not actively shopping him. But they'd rather keep him and resign him. Yeah, but he'd be an intriguing name too for a contender.
He
It's
would
really
be.
weird. Isn't Nashville's a contender though? Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to why they would try and stop him.
The United States froze all the banks. Yeah, wrong North American country, but good try. Anthony saying, I would trade Yandle to Seaside Heights for crabs and Jenkinson's aquarium museums.
Great references. That's talking my language now.
I mean, what are you guys thinking? Who would you like to see the Flyers go after for on this list? I mean, even Brandon Hagel's a 23-year-old left winger too.
You know, out of the players, I did like the opportunity to go grab. I like Chychrun. I do like his game. I'm kind of interested if maybe the Flyers could take a look at him.
It's going to be costly.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the big issue is that, and the Flyers don't exactly have the money to throw around. But if in a perfect world, if you did manage to free up the cap space, which I don't think they would, I'd take a look at Chychrun because I know he's got a lot of talent on him. I would also take a look at Jake DeBrusk and see what it would take maybe to see if we could work out a deal with Boston. Maybe we would have to trade them Claude Giroux. But, I mean, I would take Jake DeBrusk just to see if maybe he could fit in Philadelphia.
Robbie, who are you thinking about?
I don't want anybody. I want picks.
No, I don't blame. I like where your head's at.
Even with some of these younger guys on here that can fill some of these roles.
I mean, to a degree here and there, if you can increase your size, or get another sniper to where you don't have to rush like Forrester up. That's why I was like kind of hep on if the Blues weren't planning on re-signing Tarasenko and they wanted to exchange that spot with Giroux and sign him, do a trade and sign, then that might be something that I'd be interested in just to, have another goal scorer on this team. But, I mean, if I'm going to get anything, I'm going to get like a prospect, like in the Colorado scenario with Giroux, getting, an Alex Newhook, like something like that, where basically you're just adding to the depth of, your AHL level and building up from there,
Colorado actually does have a prospect on here. Where is it? How would you feel about possibly getting a guy like Shane Bowers in return? This 22-year-old center.
I'd be open to that. I think he was definitely on their wish list, if I remember correctly.
I mean,
in terms of requests from their team.
There's some good players on here.
There is
Shane Bowers in 23 games has 8 points though. But that's 23 games with Colorado, or is that 23 games with the AHL? I think it's 23 games with their team in is it Colorado Springs? They're like the Colorado Springs Golden Eagles or something like that. But
I don't know. Might be. By the way, Joe's saying that there is a Minnesota North Stars have this 30-year-old minor leaguer named Gordon Bombay that could really help the Flyers.
How's the knee though? That's my only concern with Gordon Bombay. How's the knee? The knee was an issue when he was doing the junior Goodwill games.
You're right. That's a very good point. Very good point. Ted's saying, I want pasta from Boston. Keep dreaming, brother. That is never happening. He's staying in the Bruins organization probably for life.
Yep. Yo, I didn't realize Tomas Hertl had 40 points.
Hertl is an interesting guy to look at. I don't think the Flyers would get him, though. I think that the Sharks are looking to offload him to another team, probably a competitive team. So I could see them. I'm thinking he's going to go to the Rangers. I just have a weird feeling he might wind up there.
One guy I got my eye on, and I don't care where he goes. I don't necessarily want him on either of our teams. GT Miller. Miller is having a fantastic season. He's got 53 points so far in 50 games. Sorry, in 50 games. Very intriguing. Very intriguing for the 29-year-old centerman. Having a great season with Vancouver. He's one I got my eye on just to see where he goes. Another one is Connor Garland, who actually has 29 points this season with 13 goals. I still think Connor Garland could be a good fit for the Flyers with his style of play. Like I said, he's only 25. He does have that $5 million cap hit, and he has to just have 4 more years on the contract, so that might steer me away a little bit. But
Yeah.
a lot of intriguing younger named players on this list that I would strongly consider.
Oh, come on, Brassard. And you damn near got yourself called on a penalty there because he threw Yamamoto's face into the boards there.
From what I'm seeing in this period, they're getting the pressure on there. There's no finish.
Yeah. There was a few opportunities. I know they made a play to Konecny. Konecny was being checked, so he couldn't actually get the shot off, and that didn't help anything. Yeah.
Oh, he just threw Yamamoto around like a rag doll.
He did. I'm surprised they didn't call him for roughing, honestly, knowing the way that things go these days. But Don saying, Rob, I'm just like you with the Wings. All I want is young prospects. I'm kind of also in that same ballpark. I kind of agree on that. It's like I'm not really looking to bring in too many, like big-name players. I don't really want to bring in big-name players at this point. It's like we brought in enough big players to fill 3 lifetimes. I think we're good with them right now.
Yeah, but some of these other guys out.
Yeah, Joe threw up a good name in Philip Forsberg. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, my only issue with Forsberg, though, for the Flyers would be the fact that he's a little bit older.
Oh, yeah.
I believe he's 31.
Wow. Jesus, time goes by.
Let me double check that. But yeah, I think he's 31.
He's 27.
Oh, he's only 27? Oh, well, who am I thinking of?
Still, though, time flies. I mean, it feels like only yesterday he was drafted by the Washington Capitals, then traded to the Nashville Predators.
Yeah,
but still, from what I understand, the GM in Nashville don't want to move him. They actually want him to re-sign.
Yeah,
interesting.
I would too if they're them.
I mean, Nashville has not had a bad season. They've been keeping up pretty decently.
Oh, I'm thinking of Matthew Shane. He's 31.
Okay, got you.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Nashville hasn't had a bad season. They've been keeping up. I mean, so especially for the fact of last year, they barely even made it into the playoffs. They only made it in because Dallas blew their chance to get in. So, I mean, it's actually pretty impressive to see that it's like, oh, wow, maybe this team has a little bit more juice left in the tank than we thought. I mean, to be fair, Saros is a big part of that because it turns out, okay, maybe he is the heir apparent to Pecorine. But, they've had a pretty solid year so far, Nashville. So I can see why they would want Philip Forsberg back.
So since we're talking about it, I know Robbie brought it up, and I know Don brought it up. I have a wish list. I don't necessarily want prospects. I want young NHL ready players. So my wish list would consist of guys like Pavel Zacha, Brandon Hagel. Both guys have broke 20 points this year. They're actually in the same. They're actually in the same category here as far as points go. 23 for Zacha, 27 for Hagel. Guys like that. Maybe an Terry Lettinen from Montreal. He's a really good penalty killer. Jack Roslovic from Columbus, who's got 20. Guys on the 25 or younger side. Guys I could give up like a Jakob Silverberg for, a Josh Manson for. As much as I love him and I would miss him, Nicolas Deslauriers, who's a UFA at the end of the year. Move on for him. Maybe go after a guy like a Connor Garland, who I wanted them to go after in the offseason to begin with. Or maybe even a Christian Fisher. But Christian Fisher, unfortunately, playing in Arizona, only has 8 points. And is an RFA at 24 years old. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe even go have him call up the Rangers and see what's up with Kratzov. So get some NHL ready young guys and go from there. I mean, young prospects are great and all, but I've had enough of that. Let's get some guys in here. Let's start competing. Let's start competing.
God damn it. Another great couple opportunities, and they don't go. Still no finish. Joe saying, just don't trade TK in the conference. Last thing I want is to play Marchand and TK 12 times a year. Oh, my God. I think the universe would explode.
No, from what I understand, it's the LA Kings. The Kings want them.
Which is fine. Kings have been a trading partner for the Flyers in the past pretty decently, so that's okay. Anthony's saying, I wish I was Al Morganti because he gets to see Taron Hatcher's nice legs and boobs.
And you need some help, bro. You need a lady friend, my friend.
Yeah. Well. Don't
okay, so do I. So do I. I need one myself.
Hey, Manscaped can help solve those issues.
Yeah, get Manscaped. Get some confidence going.
Hell yeah. All right. So right now, yeah, man, it was such a shame. Brassard probably had the best chance. I'm surprised that Brassard had probably one of the best chances of all night, and then he damn near killed Yamamoto.
I mean, they've been giving themselves opportunities this entire game. They just can't They just can't beat them. I think once they beat Koskinen, because I think he's playing confident right now.
Yes, he is.
I think once you beat him, I think you have a better chance of beating him a second time because a lot of times with these NHL goalies, as they go and they're not giving up goals, they get more confident as the game goes on. So
yeah, I will say one thing I liked was that little stick play there from Hart. Good glove save there from him. He waited very, very patiently until the Oiler was almost on him, and then he pushed it right back to his D-man. That's good stick handling, good patience there as a goalie. He didn't make a panic move, which I'm only highlighting that because in the past he had an issue with stick handling where he would panic and make an immediate move with the puck and turn it over. So it's good to see that he's using that patience, and it's just like, okay, I'm just going to let him come on in, see if he wants to try and check me, and then pass it back. Good move there.
And that's one thing with Hart too, especially this year's. And I know his goals against is a little high, but not really to his fault. But tonight specifically, I thought even though he's given up a couple goals, I think he's done a really good job at recentering himself and getting himself back into position and really making like strong saves here, like that last save that he had on, it looked like Zach Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
That glove save. So I think he's putting himself in better position. Again, don't necessarily fault him for the 2 goals tonight.
Yeah.
Unfortunate screen and it's the net getting crashed.
Give me a goal. Give me a goalie that gives up 2 goals against the high-scoring Edmonton Oilers team. You know, that's going to keep me in the game normally if you have any sort of offense.
No, you're right. You're right. And if the Flyers offense was finding ways to get pucks in the back of the net, this may very well have been a different story to tell.
And this is the last thing I got from that town hall yesterday is that they pretty much echoed exactly what we've been saying about Carter Hart. His first answer in terms of, like, I think someone was asking, is Carter still your guy? Or are you looking more at your depth? And, which they do. They're a very deep team in terms of talented goaltenders in this organization. But he goes, he's 23. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. And all of this struggles that he's going through is only going to make him better.
Yep. That perseverance will come through. And
all these other guys, bode like Felix Sandstrom, what's his name?
Semenko?
Yeah, I mean, certainly him, but no, I'm thinking of, is it Sorokin? Not Sorokin.
Fedotov?
Yeah, that's
Fedotov.
Yeah, Fedotov. Yeah. In the Olympics, who, that might be a struggle getting him over, but at least his contract's up right now, so he can come over. But both of those guys, still, you can mold and being Carter's backup, and that's the game plan moving forward. So that was comforting for me to hear.
Yeah.
He watches the show or something. Yeah. I mean, he might, for all we know.
He watches his team play. Isn't a dumbass.
There you go. Right.
May not be the
As long-
he may not be the best GM out there, but he's not a dumbass.
Yes, that we can agree on. Stupid he is, dumb he is not.
See, I like Ryan's, because Ryan's throwing some names out there, guys. He would want to go after. I don't think Alex Tuck is going anywhere. I think he's in Buffalo because that's oddly enough where he's from, and it's kind of where he wants to be.
That
Cody
is intriguing. Cody Glass.
Nah.
I'm not so high on Glass anymore. I used to like it. I'm not a huge fan of him anymore.
I'm about him though.
Yeah, Chikrin, I was behind. Anthony said, I like it, but he plays in Colorado. Nazem Kadri.
I heard his name in rumors, but they've died down drastically.
I like Kadri, but I think his temper gets too much of him. Like, it's like, he could take bad penalties, probably. That's what would happen if he came to Philadelphia. He would be, don't get me wrong, would he have the potential of doing a Wayne Simmons thing, of being pretty decent on the goal scoring side? Yeah, but also taking untimely penalties. And that's not exactly what we wanted.
Well, he hasn't been doing that this year, and I think he's been keeping Colorado afloat during a tough time injury-wise. But yeah, his case history, you're exactly on point. And if he were to come to Philly, the land of the bad penalty, yeah, he'd be feeling right at home, going back to old ways.
No, Bob, you pretty much said exactly what I was going to say. You took the words exactly out of my mouth, and I'm going to give you his penalty minutes this year. Oh, that's higher than I thought. 52. But that's in 50 games, so he's averaging about a penalty a game. I mean, that's
Props.
not bad. I mean, you think about it this way: he's in the box once a game, and you're oddly more than likely enough it's 2 minutes. So
yeah,
that's not bad.
Some of those might have been majors, double minors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, which means other games he's not taking a penalty, but like on average, sure, that's fine. I guess it's probably better than the past though, because I know him, man, especially come playoffs, he's taken some bad penalties in the playoffs.
He has. Simmons did too.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So let's put it to you this way. So in his penalty minutes since his rookie year, 0, 8, 8, 23, and keep in mind this is all with Toronto, 67 in 78 games, 28 in 73 games, 73 in 76 games in 15-16, 95 the next year in 82 games, 42, 43 the following 2 seasons. Now, we're going into his first year with Colorado. His first year with Colorado with 51 games, 97. Second year, 34 and 56. And this year, 52 and 50. So
he loves that box.
You bring about a valid point there and a concern, but I think the last 2 years, I think he's really calmed down a lot, and I think the team around him has definitely helped that.
True. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like Robert pointed out, like he comes to Philly. It's like with this team, I could see it happen, and I could see him absolutely getting himself into some trouble, especially if there's frustrations, and there's been plenty of that in Philly.
Right.
But let's see. Benny's saying we have that with less point production in TK.
Unfortunately, that's facts.
Yeah. And Anthony's saying, I'd rather have a team be in the hot box because, they want to play and make a statement and not play like pussies and get scared. Well, I mean, you could do that. I mean, if the team still sucks, they still suck. But, yeah, that would be more exciting to watch. I could agree with you on that. Vasily Podkozin.
He's a right winger. I'm looking him up now. Oh, he's a kid from Vancouver.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about now. Okay, then.
He's a right winger. He's 20 years old. Let me see what I'm on Elite Prospects right now. This is one of the best sites.
Yeah.
So the Elite Prospects says he's a skilled winger who plays with an edge. Sounds like a Philly guy. Mm-hmm. Combines fine hockey sense, puck handling, and shooting with an aggressive, in-your-face type of game. He competes hard and is very difficult to play against and has tools to be a high-scoring player. Sold. I saw
Yeah,
the name.
dude.
I'm like, why do I know that name? Sold me on that. I'm about it. He was drafted number 10 overall by Vancouver in 2019. So he's got
Yeah.
2 silvers and a bronze in his World Juniors. So in the under 18, he won a silver medal. In the under 20s, he won a silver medal. And he won a bronze in the under 20 for the World Juniors. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
The only problem right now is with everything going on. He is a Russian player, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with them for the meantime. I don't think anything should happen, but you never know.
no, I got you. But yeah, I mean, Canucks don't necessarily make like a good trade partner with the Flyers. You know what I mean? Like if they were a little bit more in contention, then I could see it. But I mean, I like the cat. I like the way his right up there.
Yeah, his right up there sounds good. He sounds like he should have been a Flyer from the jump.
Yes, Daryl, come. We need you. We need you. Carter.
So Hart's officially pulled. Timeout called by the Flyers here. Strategize to see if maybe they can get 2 quick goals. Right now they're announcing the player of the game, and it's, what a shock, Mikko Koskinen.
Yeah, you keep a goose egg up there. Chances are.
He's had some great saves tonight. I mean, the Flyers have had some good chances, but he's had an answer for everything.
Yeah, Flyers have 35 shots on goal. The Oilers 30. He's had an answer for everything, like you said, and providing like a calmness in net that the Oilers aren't used to.
How old is Mikko?
They expect a lot from this guy.
I mean, 37? Wow.
No. 37 saves now. I said 35 before. That was outdated.
Gotcha.
I don't know how old he is.
I think Mikko Koskinen's in his mid-20s.
Okay, because he looks like he's 37 in this photo. Just wanted to clarify.
Wow.
Sorry, he does.
Stop Atkinson there, point blank.
Oh, good call, Maddie. 33.
Oh, he's 33. Oh,
he's 33.
Okay, so I thought so. It's like he does not look like he's in his 20s.
I mean, I know guys that have lost a lot of hair in their mid-20s. He's just not who I thought he was.
I mean, I'm one of those people. So
worse than you, bro.
Let's see here. Giroux with a chance in front and nothing. Come on,
I'm at the point where Atkinson just hit him right square in the logo.
Yeah, point blank there. Made a nice save. Koskinen did. Yeah, I mean, he's buzzing now. Atkinson's gotten that goal scoring little, smelling the net right now. Hopefully, he can try to put one up so they can make it a game.
Benny's just like, he's telling me that Morey's the GM of the Sixers, which I didn't know, to be completely honest with you. And then he also goes on to say that the Sixers play basketball. Well, I'm aware of it. I get that the Sixers play basketball. I just don't give a shit. So,
Benny.
Basketball is a game where you put a ball in a hoop.
I wasn't even looking at that chat, and I was just thinking that that's the next logical comment. Boom.
This is why we keep Benny around.
You win the game by getting the ball in your hoop more than theirs.
Don owes everybody $100, by the way. He owes everybody $200 because Connor McDavid just scored an empty netter. So, and yes, Don, if you're going to try and back out of this by saying, oh, well, I didn't say an empty netter, you did not specify what kind of goal it was. So that counts. So you now owe everybody $200.
Oh, Benny, we love you. Right, yeah, I was one of those guys. I started losing my hair in my early 20s, and I was 22 when people started to notice. I'm like, what?
And Ryan told Benny to go hibernate.
Hey, we love Benny here. Benny's my boy. Oh. Don speaking Spanish.
Well, you better start speaking a lot of Spanish to try and get yourself out of paying that $200 because you still.
You speak Spanish? You speak Spanish to me? All the Cheech and Chong fans.
Dude, Cheech and Chong, love it.
Ted, I'll be collecting Don. They are.
I think when I play
it's-
NHL after this, I'm gonna trade for the kid from Vancouver.
Oh, Paulkeson. Let's see here. Ted saying we have multiple 10-game losing streaks this season. Besides Captain G, do you guys see multiple guys getting traded away? That's just unexpectable. Well, I mean, I think the offseason will be where we get most of our trades. If there's going to be a trade at the deadline, it's going to have to be a deal with Giroux, probably. If not, it'll be maybe a Braun, I think, because you did mention him, Bry, as one of the guys who was up there. I could see Braun moving at the deadline. Maybe if there is a concrete actual deal for someone to take James Van Riemsdyk off our hands, I could see that move happening. But I think anything else, I think we'll be waiting for the offseason for that.
I think we're going to see multiple trades at the deadline. I think they're going to sell off pieces. I think Bronny's going to go. I think Risto might go, although I don't want him to. I think he's been one of the bright spots of this team. I hope to see Sanheim go. I would like to see JVR go. I think we see a number of trades. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say we see 5 deals involving the Flyers.
Wow, that many? Well, yeah. I mean, as you get down to crunch time, that's when you start to see the deals flow, and they have the extra cap room.
I'm at you.
So it is official. The game's over. And Konecny gets himself a shutout on the Flyers. It is a 2-0 victory for the Oilers. They get revenge for the loss in Edmonton. And that's the end of that season series. And it's split for this season. So we'll see what happens next year between those two teams. Anyway, next game's Thursday at 7. Flyers will take on the Wild. Have they played in Minnesota yet? I don't think they have. So I think that'll be the opening of that season series. So anyway. All right, gents. So I think it's time for us to send this one on home. And it's time for us to get into our shootout segment. So before we dive into that, shootout segment brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. Listen, guys, if you got any aches and pains going on, he's the guy to go to because he will take care of that. You know, Brian, man, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Sending Ryan a comment here real quick. Head on over to the Burlington or Cherry Hill stores. Allie is pretty much running the Burlington store at this point. She was awesome with my shoulder. She helped diagnose it and got me onto my regimen and got my shoulder back to 100%. Carrie kind of finished it up, but Carrie was a sweetheart. She knows what she's doing. She's they're all very qualified over at Specialized Physical Therapy. Dr. Paul's is an amazing cat. So definitely, if you're having any issues with anything, go check them out and get on a regiment with them. They'll take really good care of you over there at Specialized Physical Therapy.
All right, then. So, gents, for our shootout segment, obviously we have our game of the week. And, Rob, I think you already kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit earlier on. Just for a quick reminder, what's your game of the week?
It was that barn burner, Maple Leafs 10, Red Wings 7. Don, it was a rough night, but it was an epic comeback, though. This was the first NHL game since October 27th, 2011, with 16 plus goals. Mitch Marner had 4 of them, 2 assists. Michael Bunning, too, had a 5-point night with 4 assists and a goal. It was an epic comeback, fell just short, but Detroit 5 goals in the third period. The goaltenders were sleeping hard after that game. If you're looking forward in terms of a game of the week, looking forward, man, hey, you might want to go to this game, Brian. Penguins at Hurricanes, Friday night, 7 p.m. 1-2 in the Metro, and the Canes lead the division by 4 points coming into tonight. That should be a barn burner as well.
I would love to go to that game, but I have no money.
Might be an issue.
That could be an issue. I mean, I might be able to get my buddy to pay for the tickets, but I'd be like, hey, yo, you want to go to a hockey game?
Just
hey, yo, can you pay?
just promise to buy him a few beers or what have you, and just make sure you have enough money for that. Maybe that'll work.
He doesn't drink. That's the only downfall.
Oh, damn!
But he's been dying. He's been dying to go to a Canes game. He's just not a hockey guy. He needs a hockey guy to go with.
That's true.
I'll
that
go with
way it makes it better. Yeah. Don just said so, by the way. I guess that's in reference to the comment. He said, yeah, Hennessy could erase the pain that night.
For sure.
Now, unfortunately, not only did Rob let out of the bag his game of the week, he let out my game of the week because I actually wound up picking the same thing. Because when I saw that score, I didn't see the game, but I saw the score and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just had to look at it. I'm like, I can't think of anything else that takes it in. It has to be the game of the week. It was amazing, that game.
Crazy.
Brian, do you have a different game of the week?
I'll be honest. Work has been really nuts, so I haven't really been able to sit down and watch much, except for tonight. I was watching a little bit of the Rangers game when they were on ESPN. I mean, it wound up being a blowout, but, just watching this Rangers team, any game that they're in they just absolutely dominate. I forget who the hell they were playing. Oh, they were playing the Capitals. They just absolutely smoked them from the jump.
Was it like 7-0 or something like that?
It was something like that. I don't remember what day they played, but when I turned the game off midway through the second period, it was already I believe it was 5-0 Rangers. It was the Rangers are just unbelievable right now. Yeah, that was really the only game I've gotten to watch this past week. Just everything's been nuts at work with our new menu rolling out, and we had our menu meeting yesterday. We had the cool bar, which is where the Carolina Hurricanes come in and do some fun stuff in the restaurant. Bring the cheerleaders and the mascots, and it's a good time. That's a fun time, but it's a lot. I had a lot going on, so like I said, I didn't really get to watch this week.
Yeah, it happens, man. I'm sure it must have been crazy having to learn everything with the new menu and everything like that.
Oh, for me, it's nothing. I've been doing this too long.
Oh, okay. So you were just like, okay, it's just going to be busy because of all the people.
Yeah. I mean, next week is when we switch over our menu, so it'll be fun. It'll be fine.
All right, so on to our player of the week, and for me, I'll start it out. I'm going to go with Austin Matthews. He had a really great week this week, and even though Connor McDavid might be the big thing, the next big thing of the NHL right now, Austin Matthews, don't sleep on him because he's a freaking monster too. And all you gotta do is take a look at some of his highlights and take a look at this past week, and it'll tell you why.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's been 1-2, the Robin to his Batman this year. Yep. I mean, and over the past 5 years, 7 years. Yeah, man. Well, I saw the game winner he had against Minnesota. I had him too as my player of the week. I'll second that, Maddie. I had 4 goals and 9 points on 20 shots over 4. I think it was 4 games. So, phenomenal week. Number 1 star in the NHL.
Yeah, great week for him. And Yeah, great minds think alike, I guess. Game of the week and player of the week. Brian, do you have a different player of the week than me and Rob?
No, again, like I said, I haven't really been able to watch much this week. Just had a lot going on.
All right, then. And, all right, so it's time for the hot take. So, hot take of the week. And my hot take will be that the next time we do a live reaction show, which is next week, the Flyers will win. That counts definitely as a hot take.
Will they play next Tuesday? Or if it is a game next Tuesday?
There is. Yeah, there is a game next Tuesday. They are
Golden Knights. That's a loss.
They're taking on the Golden Knights. So,
ouch.
I mean, to be fair,
they beat them last time. They beat them in Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. They beat them in Vegas, and they're traveling west to east this time. So, yeah, I get it.
For some reason, the Flyers do play well against the Golden Knights, so I could see it totally happening. So you know what? I'm going to go with that. I will go with it. The next time that we are here, Flyers will play the Golden Knights, and they'll get a win. So there's my hot take. Gentlemen.
Oy vey, this is not cheap. Why can't the Hurricanes suck?
I don't know.
I'm looking into tickets for the Penguins game since you brought it up. Cheapest I've seen is 103.
Ouch.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to a Flyers game.
It does say that the best deal is for 168, and that's in the lower level.
Still, though, like, holy shit.
I think I have different options to look at as far as all my tickets go. I got like 3 different vendors I look at.
Benny, I thought that's what Maddie was about to say. That's what I thought his hot take was, that she would not be a Flyer by this time next week.
I was thinking on it, but then I was thinking of it, but then I thought, nah, that's tacky. Everybody's saying that these days. I wanted to go with something different.
Plus, there's still like 20 some odd days left to the deadline. You know what I mean? So if he's going, it's going to be like a trade deadline deal. You know, that's why we got to do that show on that Monday. But my hot take, man, of the week. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Hopefully, our resident Calgary Flames fan is still with us. I say a red-hot Flames club with the new addition of Tyler Toffoli will win the Clarence and represent the West in the Stanley Cup Finals.
All right. You're going to the playoff hot take that the Flames will battle their way out of their division in the Pacific and then manage to battle their way through the Western Conference Finals into the Stanley Cup Final. All right.
I mean, it's hard to find a better team in the NHL right now. Maddie, they were 10-1-1 in February.
I know. I'm well aware that this team has been fucking killing it.
First in the Pacific now.
See, I don't want to say on fire because it's a pun. So, yeah, but I will say they've been killing it. So, all right. And let's see here. Don saying, hot take. The Wings will not give me a headache. I don't know about that one, Don. That's definitely a hot take on that. Anthony's hot take is McEwen will have a hat trick. That's definitely a hot take right there. Okay, so we've got it down. Golden Knights will lose to the Flyers, and McEwen will get all 3 goals and get a hat trick for the Flyers. We got it down. All right, Bri, what's your hot take?
I got a couple. I'm gonna do a couple.
All right.
1, Flyers win the rest of the homestand.
Okay, I can take that. That's a good hot take right there.
Got to play Minnesota, Chicago, and Vegas. I think they. I don't know. This team is really funky. So, I think they win. I think they figure out a way to win out the homestand. Because like I've been saying, man, they're not playing terrible hockey. They had no finish tonight. They had the pressure. They had the buzz. They just couldn't finish it. My second one is, where was I going with it? Jared Mayhew has 3 goals in those 3 games.
So Jared Mayhew doesn't have a hat trick, but he has 3 straight goals in 3 straight games. Gotcha.
3 goals in 3 games, yeah.
3 goals, 3 games. Gotcha. All right then. Interesting. A lot of love for the bottom depth players here, and I understand why. Mayhew's he's been showing a lot over these last few weeks, even in losing efforts. All right, then. So,
play? Oh, right. They play the Bruins. That was that game.
Yeah.
Got to get that set up.
All right, then, guys. So we thank everybody for joining us once again. As always, a thrill. And every week, listen, now it's tough sometimes getting up for these games, knowing how the Flyers have been playing. But you know what? It's always a joy knowing that I'm going to be here with you guys and, here with the fam. So always a pleasure. And can't wait to do it next week when we talk about the Flyers and the Golden Knights. But until then, everybody, you stay safe, you stay healthy out there. And as a fun little note, here in Jersey, you don't have to wear masks while you're working anymore. Fucking A! That's beautiful. I feel like I got paroled from prison after that. But we thank everybody for joining us. We love you guys as always. Oh, and one last thing. If you do want to support us, where can they go, Bri?
Head on over to phillydrinkers.com, Philly Drinkers LLC. Get all kinds of great ATD merch going on over there. Get your ATD t-shirt like Robbie's got on there. All kinds of great novelty t-shirts, show shirts. Support your favorite show. Support us. Support ATD as a whole. So you head on over to Philly Drinkers LLC at phillydrinkers.com. Alex will take good care of you. Also, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe as always. Get those notifications turned on. And hey, let's just add one more to it. Start spreading the word. A2D is growing at a great rate right now. Keep spreading the word about us, about the station, about the other shows. Get your friends in here. Let's have some great conversations, some great debates. We love you guys. See you guys next week.
Absolutely, guys. And just leave that up there for Manscaped to unlock your confidence, and they'll be bringing you the show next week. So until then, guys, peace and love. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay healthy, everyone. Love you guys. Take it easy.
Tell your friends.